Boom! He's on his back. Hey, heck of a play! That is concentration. Hey, he'll remember that number. Amazing!
And that's how we coming in with it. This is an installment of Sportify Arena. I'm joined by two illustrious guests, Shetty for real, and none other than Brian Snow, Snowman Multimedia. And first, before I get into it, because this is going to be a great episode. And this is very impromptu. So all of the subscribers to the channel that's going to watch this live and see this on the replay, you are definitely in for a treat. And before I get into it, I just want to give this man his proper reverence, because you don't come across too many people that have actual experience, verified experience in the sports world. So Mr. Brian Snow, before we get into the topic of the NBA playoffs and, you know, the ongoings of sports, I'm going to give you the floor real quick to just, if you could give a quick introduction to yourself in like a minute or less, and kind of shout out your channel, give your background, to just let the people know that, you know, you're just not the average Joe Schmo up here talking. Go ahead and rock out, Brian.
Man, B-Eazy, I appreciate that. I appreciate you having me on. I'm Brian. I'm from Chicago originally. I now live in Southern Indiana with my wife, my children, and my little dog Lucy here. I've been in the game 27 years. August will start season 28 for me. I've called different sports, 7 different sports to be exact, including basketball, football, baseball. I've done hockey. The announcer that got me going, that told me I could do this, was the late, great Jim Durham. When I heard him call Bulls games for many, many years on WIND and later WMAQ and WMVP for in Chicago, then Wayne Larrabee got me into football. Jack Buck, Vin Scully, John Rooney got me into baseball, and the great Pat Foley got me into hockey, followed by John Weidman, big-time Chicago base. I love talking sports. I've been doing my sports talk show for 9 years now. This is our 9th season. We launched in January. And I just love talking sports with people that actually bring it, that actually keep it real, and are not afraid of fact. That's how I've rolled for the 20 plus years I've been in the game. And I got my first radio gig in 1995 at Chicago State University. Been in the game since, and that's me. That's the snowman in a nutshell. And again, thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem, and thank you for giving that. So, once again, go ahead and what is your channel? Before we proceed,
YouTube.com/@snowman multimedia.
so go over there. This dude is giving sports coverage in real time, and then he's also breaking down the games afterwards. So a lot of gems are dropped. I know a lot of people think, "Hey, I played sports," or I know sports, or I've coached sports, but even if you're an athlete or a coach, you can still always learn something.
Yeah.
And once you get around some people, I know Brian Snow has been around some people that have forgotten more basketball and sports than some of us have even learned. And it doesn't mean that, hey, that you're dumb or you're just ignorant overall. It just means that there's always someone out there that knows more than you. Rather than to fixate on that point, just continue on your journey to acquire even more knowledge, so that when you speaking on these topics, I'm a Lakers fan, but when I speak on the sports teams that I support and that I'm a fan of, I'm objective. I'm not going to say, hey, because this is my favorite player. Even Shetty for real, he's a Cowboys fan. He's probably one of the most critical players, and I be trying to be like, hey, don't blame Dak. He like, nope, this was all on Dak. So
yeah,
with these lines, we can still give you a substantive analysis, but also objective and unbiased as well.
And that's what I love about talking sports with people that are that way, that really bring it, you know. And for X Shetty, what you go through with the Cowboys, I go through with the 49ers.
I hear that, man. Those two,
you already know.
What do you know?
And I've been a 49er fan since '81. Montana to Clark against the Cowboys. Okay.
Yep.
We've had our down years, and I wasn't afraid to talk. About it. I've been on with B-Eazy breaking down Laker games with our big boy, big baby Jonathan.
Yep.
And Jonathan brings it. And I love it. And I'm not, and people have gotten on me the next day after I hang out with B-Eazy and with Jonathan, you know, saying, oh, you just don't like the Lakers. No, I know what basketball looks like. I know what it sounds like. I've been doing play-by-play for 20 plus years. Trust me. I know more of the game. I've forgotten more of the game than you learned.
Right, man. Yeah, man, I like to be open and objective, man. And I just call it how I see it. If it's my team or anybody's team, I love sports that much. You know, sports is like you can't run, you can't hide. It is.
It's a drug, and now that I know what I'm doing business wise, and the folks that are helping me, and B-Eazy, I got to throw you some flowers too. Thank you for all the support, my man. Thank you for all the support. Because, like I said, every time I hang out with B-Eazy and Jonathan, and we're talking Lakers, next thing I know, an hour's passed, and I'm an hour past my bedtime.
Exactly. And let me show some love to the chat. We got Miss Traumatos here. Miss Traumatos has a channel, and her also up and coming channel that's really interesting. It's called the Paranormal Activities. So go ahead, you can drop it in the chat. And Snowman, I may not be able to do it right now, but I'm gonna definitely make you a mod here. So
I appreciate
whenever you get the opportunity, drop your channel in the chat. And we're joined none other than the Brody Traumatos. This dude is a really amazing rapper. I was gonna call him a battle rapper, but he is an artist that just does happen to battle rap. So this is my bro Traumatos. So shout out to him.
Traumatos, what's up?
None other than Quantum Metaphysician. She says, what's up, sugar? This is a very lovely and very alluring young lady who's always very supportive. So shout out to Quantum. And Machete had to drop, so he'll probably be coming back. So I'm gonna just get right into it with you, Snowman, because
right
now Shetty is a Lakers fan. I mean, a Warriors fan. So You've been abreast with all of the games, right? The playoff games that's been going on, right? Okay. And just so you're super current, you know that the Hawks won and they lost tonight to the Celtics, right?
Yep. 119 to 106. They're down 2-0.
That was pretty predictable. But I would say, so the more interesting storyline that we can pick up on is the Warriors versus the Sacramento Kings. From your viewpoint, when you seen those games, was it more of Golden State losing those games or Sacramento just dogging it out and taking those games?
Oh, it's easy. It's Sacramento beating our asses on the boards. We do not have a rim protector, period. They have Domantas Sabonis, who's going to give it a go in Game 3.
Yes, Sabonis has been playing like a man-child.
Is a madman.
His most of his, well, I'm not going to say most, but a significant portion of his points have been on second chance points.
And that's what's killed the Warriors the last 2 years. I mean, I'm not going to make any more excuses about us not being healthy. The Warriors are not healthy. They're not whole. Andrew Wiggins is still rusty. But
Correct.
let's call a spade and a club a club. We are getting our ass kicked on the board.
Period.
Thank you for finishing my sentence. Because I will point to two situations, one Saturday and one last night. And both situations occurred in the third quarter. When the Warriors were up by 10 on Saturday, 86 to 76, they had 6 consecutive possessions of one and done. One shot, Kings get the rebound. Next thing you know, an 86-76 lead turns into a 91-90 deficit after 3 periods. And that covered all of 5 minutes, 12 seconds of game time. Same in the third period last night when the Warriors got to within 1. The Kings hit a 3, they stretch it to 4, and again, 6 consecutive trips of one and done. Next thing you know, it was 81 to 69, and the Kings put it on cruise control. And as long as I've been a Warrior fan, and it's since 2005, because I follow 3 teams very faithfully, I've never seen the Warriors unravel like that in a game. I mean, it's like seeing the Bulls unravel against the Knicks in Game 2 of the 1993 Eastern Conference Finals. But this is when the series begins, because a major question that has to be asked Thursday night in San Francisco: how do the champions respond?
Yeah.
How do the champions respond? Because if they sneak out, if they even eke out Game 3, we have a series.
Yeah.
But for the Warriors to continue to defend their title, and the one thing that has hurt us all year long, besides lack of offensive rebounding or lack of rebounding, period, we can't win on the road. For some reason, the road has kicked our ass.
They were abysmal this year on the road.
11-30.
Yeah, that's the only thing to me that looked the same was the way they played on the road. That's how they played all year.
And this is on a team. This is a team that blew out Sacramento on the last game of the year.
Yeah,
beat them by 12, but Sacramento rested their starter.
So
that was going to be a walk-away game. And that was a getaway game for Sacramento because they had already clinched the Pacific Division. They already had their seed locked in. The Warriors were playing for their lives. Big difference. Now that the Kings have locked in home court advantage, now that the Warriors got in, we will see what they're made of.
Yeah.
Because this is going to be a huge, huge test for Golden State. I expect them to defend. I expect this series to go the distance. I expect this series to go the distance for the simplest of reasons. The Warriors can't win on the road, but they can win at home. And for some stupid, crazy reason, I have this feeling the Warriors are going to eke out one on the road. It's either going to be Game 5 or Game 7. They should have stolen Game 1.
Really, there. You right about that.
Yeah,
Man,
no, that was a big dropping of the ball of them
Yep.
stealing game one. But basically, Snowman, they say the series really doesn't start until the home team loses.
Yeah.
So, as Sacramento being the third seed, they were expected
They were
to
expected
win
to
those
hold
two
serve.
games. It's
Yep.
just the people hold the Golden States to a different standard because they are the upper echelon of the league. But let me just get, because they always say the tail of the tape, right? And when it comes down to, let's just focus on last night's game. It was
Yeah.
actually relatively even. The rebounds, 41 apiece. Assists, the Sacramento Kings had 22 and the Warriors had 8. But then it's where it gets tricky. The Kings had 11 steals. The Warriors had 6. The Kings had 5 blocks. The Warriors had 2. The Kings had 14 turnovers. The Warriors had 20.
there you go, right there.
That's the game right there. When you lose by about 7 points, but you have 6 turnovers, and they were converting.
That's a 12-point. You're handing the home team 12 points.
There you
When
go.
you turn the ball over 6 points, when you turn the ball over 6 more times, you're handing them 12 points.
And did
Or
you
in
see
Sacramento's
Harrison
case,
Barnes? Harrison Barnes turned back the clock. He
Yep.
had like 3 fast breaks dunk where he
Yeah.
just hit on somebody.
He got a little tiny
I mean,
chip on his shoulder, man. He
it's-
really feels some type of way. I think he want to show them.
Are
You
you
should have
surprised?
kept me around.
Are you
Yeah,
surprised?
Harrison Barnes has been playing out of his mind.
Harrison Barnes has been playing out of his mind. De'Aaron Fox.
Oh, yeah.
My
goodness.
gracious.
Oh my goodness.
I don't
And
care what people say about LeBron. The heir apparent now. Here's what I think. The torch was snatched by Stephen Curry from Kobe Bryant. LeBron has not seen an era. Now, De'Aaron Fox is doing to Steph what Steph did to Kobe. And this is think about how De'Aaron Fox has progressed. Think about how De'Aaron Fox has progressed.
Yeah, he's shooting the ball. He can get to that sweet spot, and with that left hand, he's unstoppable. He's
it's
unstoppable.
literally kind of because I don't think he got enough flowers. So when he came out of the draft, of course there was a bunch of politics and marketing why the Lakers drafted Lonzo Ball. But Lonzo Ball, outside of his knee issues, which he might end up being like Brandon Roy, he might not play again. I hope that he does, but Lonzo Ball,
not with that degenerative knee.
yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. I don't really think that. I'm pretty sure it's a wrap for him, but I just don't want to speak that to existence.
I don't want to speak it into existence either, but they're afraid to say it's a degenerative knee.
Correct. Yeah. So it is more of a Brandon Roy issue, or with somebody else too. Stephen Granger from the Pacers. So it's a couple people that have suffered from it.
Or Todd Gurley.
Todd Gurley too.
Todd
He
Gurley
was an animal coming out of Georgia, and even in the league, I think he won. Actually, I think the Rams traded him before they won that Super Bowl. But
no, he was there.
Oh, he was there. Okay,
he was there for Super Bowl 53.
Okay, I was just making sure. I couldn't remember.
He was gone after. It was gone after that.
That's what it was, because I remember he was gone after. But yeah, thanks for that clarification. But the reason why I brought up Lonzo Ball is because Lonzo Ball, regardless of his jump shot, which he did get better and was shooting actually over 40%. Lonzo Ball is actually a really good defender. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Oh, for sure.
He's a wonderful defender. The problem was the Lakers wouldn't let him play.
Yeah, they put too much on him.
The New Orleans Pelicans wouldn't let him play defense.
Correct. But when he was allowed to play defense, the only reason why I'm bringing this up is still about De'Aaron Fox. I just want to say that Lonzo Ball is one of the premier defenders for the point guards, and he said the fastest player that he ever played against was De'Aaron Fox.
It's De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah, and a lot of people just kind of brushed that off, and they didn't see him having the impact. He's always been a game changer in the league, but now he is knocking that 3 ball down from a consistent level.
Yeah, that's big too.
That's huge.
That's huge, because he wasn't shooting like that when he came in the league. Now this year you see like I say, the speed of that backcourt is going to continue to give the Warriors problems.
And that's the huge point that we have to make right now. The speed
Hold
of
on,
the
let me
Kings.
just give a shout out to this lovely lady, sister Inania, always supportive, always coming through and supporting the stream. Shout out to this lovely lady. All right, go ahead, Snowman.
The speed of the Kings is what the Warriors had for the last 8 years, and now it's getting thrown back at them.
But hold on, Snowman, it's not just the speed though. They're physically out there kind of punking them. What's that dude?
Well, no, they got the speed and they got the height.
Yeah.
It's like if you add that two together, that's a hard combo.
Sabonis is out there kind of just bullying those dudes. I seen Davion Mitchell just rip the ball out of Poole's hands like he was a little boy.
I watched the game. Not to catch you off. I watched the game, and I all I could see was a younger, kind of 0.2-ish Warriors team. They made up just like the Warriors, except these two guards can get to the basket anytime they want to.
And they got a big man. They got rim protection.
Let me pose this question. How big has Malik Monk been?
Oh my goodness. No, man. I did not want him to leave from the Lakers. Malik.
I didn't understand. And now I'm like, I don't understand how he left.
Well, the Lakers were only able to pay him $8 million, and the Kings paid him $12 million. So I think that's like a no-brainer for him.
Here's the biggest factor for why Sacramento is up 2-0 and may finish this series in Sacramento. Mike Brown.
Yes, sir. Get that man.
He studied under Steve Kerr for 6 seasons.
Wow.
4 of those produced championships. When you have a 4-time champion coach,
and he was also under Popovich too when they were
under Greg Popovich also.
Was he on the Cleveland team? Was he on the Cleveland squad?
He was the coach for.
He was on Cleveland
in his younger days.
Years. They went to the finals, but they got swept by the Spurs.
They got blown out. They got blown to smithereens by San Antonio.
Correct.
And when Mike Brown wasn't allowed to be the coach.
Well, when he was a Lakers coach, his hands was tied. Actually, that Lakers team was they had a Kobe Bryant single-handedly willed them to the playoffs so much that he bust his Achilles. Dwight Howard was injured. He had a torn labrum.
They weren't a good team. They really weren't a good team.
As Steve
Dwight Howard was soft as a pillow in Los Angeles.
Right, that was a joke.
Let me go
Kobe told him that.
let me go further. Dwight Howard was soft as a pillow after he left Orlando.
Yeah, what happened?
It was the stupidest move he ever made.
Did he go to Atlanta?
He spent 1 year in Atlanta, 2 in Houston.
He went to Houston. Yep.
1 year in Charlotte, and he didn't even make it the full year in Charlotte.
He went to the Nets. They didn't want him. They traded him immediately.
And everybody in Atlanta celebrated.
He was on the Wizards.
How?
People don't even remember. Yeah, he was on the Wizards. And then last year he played in China, like for the Shanghai ones.
Sharks.
Correct.
Shanghai Sharks.
But yeah, but for what y'all saying about De'Aaron Fox, so let me ask y'all this: where do y'all think De'Aaron Fox actually ranks in top in terms of point guards? Because he actually gets slighted when people bring up point guards. Like he's not even mentioned. They immediately go to Steph Curry.
You know why he
go to Kyrie.
You know why he gets slighted? You know why Steph's been slighted for 14 years? They actually play the game in a fundamentally sound place. Let me preach that again for those of y'all on the cheap seats at the old Fabulous Forum or at old Reunion Arena in Dallas, or for me, old Chicago Stadium. Stephen Curry and De'Aaron Fox play the game as fundamentally sound as point guards as you can. The age of the NBA today is not about fundamentals. Just ask LeBron James. And I said all this one morning, and I think B-Eazy's mouth dropped through the floor because
Yeah, you know,
Win
and that's
anyone.
what I love about Snowman because even though we have our different views, I respect his opinion, and I think his opinion is valued because he keeps me sharp too. And I'm like, I don't agree with that, but it's like, well, he does have a valid point with that, because
The
when it
word
comes
I-
to
I'm sitting here thinking about it, and I'm just going through his moves over the years, the way
post game is
I
non-existent.
mean, he's not Mr. Fundamental. I mean, and I think it's because he's 6'9", 270. Like, get out my way.
Imagine
But,
with 6'9",
Hey,
imagine
to
with
keep it
6'9"
real,
and 2 and a
hey
quarter.
Snowman, have you been following his son? Bronny might be a little bit more fundamentally sound.
Wrong answer.
You think so?
Wrong answer.
All right, say the
I
right
do
answer,
not.
Snowman.
Until I see different, and I've had many people. Matter of fact, let me go there with not only Bronny, but a fellow named Victor Wembanyama.
Oh, you going there with it?
I'm going there with. I'm going to really blow some people's minds and piss some people off while I'm at it when I say the following. I wouldn't waste a pick on Victor Wembanyama.
and that's the 7-foot guy, right?
That's
Yeah,
a 7-footer.
you're talking real spicy, Mr. Snow. Teams have been tanking. Have you seen
I'm just
Dallas?
warming
Dallas was
up.
about to make the playoffs, and then they start tanking.
B-Eazy, I'm just warming up. This ain't spicy. I'm just warming up. The reason why I think no one should waste a pick on Victor Wembanyama is pretty simple. He's not ready.
Sure isn't playing against anybody.
Yeah, I could agree.
Bingo.
Why is he
Say
even
that
in the
again. For those of us in the Chiefs seats at old Chicago Stadium, say that again, please.
He's not playing against anybody. Why isn't he in the D League?
Because because he's not ready for the D League. He's not ready for the G League.
Yeah, hold up real quick. So Quantum says you all have great tonations, by the way. So shout out to Quantum for that. And I do agree, I do like the different voices. She always gets well, come up here, Victor. Look, you already ruffling some feathers. Victor says you goofy for saying that about Victor. Clip the sound bite and see how it ages. So Victor, please think
Prove me wrong. Victor Wembanyama needs to prove me wrong.
Yeah, he got to show me. He don't get a free pass.
I have been proven wrong. I have been proven wrong before by folks on my own teams. An example: George the Animal Kittle. I didn't know what he would do in San Francisco's on San Francisco's roster. Not to mention San Francisco's offense. Boy, he made a believer out of me. And I didn't know what he would do because I didn't see him play much at Iowa. I saw a couple of games, but I didn't see how he would fit into that 49er offense. Listen carefully. Victor Wembanyama is not ready for the rigors of a G League season.
Yeah, that boy looks like a spaghetti noodle.
The rigors of an 82-game NBA season, load management or not.
Mm-hmm.
I have not seen anything fundamentally sound in his game. He's being allowed to freelance.
How good is the guy? How good is the? Do you guys remember the tall guy from Gonzaga? He just got drafted. He's probably like the next closest thing to him as far as like being skinny and having game. Did he ever give you this?
Are you talking about Chet Holmgren?
Chet Holmgren, how did he do?
He didn't even play.
He didn't even play.
He played only 1 year at Gonzaga. He's just thin. This is my other problem with Victor Wembanyama. He's as thin as a rail.
That's what happened with Chet Holmgren. So he was playing pickup basketball, and actually with LeBron, Mr. Snow, you should love this one. He was playing pickup basketball with LeBron and some other NBA players, and he tried to do like a crossover, and he dunked, and he came down and like kind of broke his ankle. So OKC set him out. Now I'm sure he could have came back, but OKC was also, they were trying to get a lower lottery pick so they could try to go after Victor.
Yeah, they're trying to go after Victor too. All I gotta say is, I agree with those skinny guys don't work out in the league like that. Giannis?
Agree with me on this. I'm not impressed with Victor Wembanyama. Skills or no, he's underdeveloped. He's underdeveloped
Yeah,
physically.
way underdeveloped.
He's underdeveloped basketball wise. For him to be 7'1" at his age, he's barely 200 pounds. And I mean barely. Well, let me be sure. Let me be sure, because I want to be sure that I got his weight right, and I don't want to.
He's 7'1". I thought he was like 7'2", 7'3", something.
Well, I'm looking it up now.
Yeah, I'll look it up. He's 7'2".
He's 7'2".
Okay.
Yeah, he's 7'2", and he's 19
and for
years
those
old.
who don't think that we know our sports, this is what real sports talk hosts do when we're live. We actually research these things. And yes, I'm
How much
taking
does he weigh?
all kinds of shots at people who think I don't know what I'm doing or don't know what I'm talking about. He is 7'2",
Man, know his stuff.
and
Don't
he
think that.
is. Oh, I know. He's 7'2". Don't list his weight, unfortunately.
Yeah, they don't list his
Yeah,
weight.
He's 19 years old.
Man, that's not looking good, right? They
That's
don't
not looking good.
There, right there. I mean,
How long did it take Giannis? How long did it take Giannis to get to where he at now? Because when he came in the league,
5 years.
Like
5 years.
It took him 5 years to get to this.
Go into his body.
Yeah.
To get his fundamentals down.
Dwight Howard, remember when Dwight came in the league, Kobe was yamming on him.
Man, it takes some time. It took Jordan some time. Come on, man. This dude, hopefully he can stay healthy enough to get to the 5 years.
It took MJ developing a jump shot, even though it took a jump shot for him to beat Georgetown, one of the greatest national championship games I ever watched.
That was a wet jump shot, too.
May 29th, 1980, and that indeed was a wet jump shot. And to think it only got better over the years.
Yeah.
I think it only got better. By the time 1987 and 88 got here, you saw the formation of his jump shot. You saw how he was not afraid to use his jump shot. By the time he faced the Pistons in the Eastern Conference Finals in 1989, even though they lost that series, he was ready. And it took him the loss against Detroit in the East Finals in 89 and the loss against Detroit in 1990 in 7 games for him to finally to ascend to the top of the mountain. This is where I have a problem with LeBron. He had the whole league handed to him when he walked out of St. Vincent St. Mary High School. He had $90 million handed to him before he set foot to floor by Nike. $90 million set to him, give it to him before he set foot to floor.
Yeah, no, I hear you, bro.
I hear you, man. I wonder.
Man, I love your perspective. I don't like what you got to say about the Lakers, but he always is always gonna keep it real, and he's not being like a shock jock or hyperbolic.
I'm not being shocked.
No, that's just man. That's real facts, man. Facts.
I'm just being real.
People can't be sensitive.
Yeah, no,
These fans are be real. You B-Eazy. You can verify this because we hung out with Big Baby Jonathan. A shout to him. Some of these Laker fans are more sensitive than they need to be.
Yeah,
especially when I show up.
Let me say this though about Victor. Though one thing about Victor.
Go ahead, shit.
If that dude, if he's 7'2", they say he can shoot the 3. I need to know what they mean. Is he a 40% 3-point shooter?
Right.
If he's a 47% 3-point shooter, man, 7'2", he can come in and help.
No, he can't.
But hold on, let me ask you this, Snowman. Let me ask you this, Snowman and Shetty. Y'all both can answer it. Do you think? And I'm talking about ceiling. I'm not talking about today. I'm talking about within the first few years. Do you think that he can be better than Porzingis? Because Porzingis came in the league as he was an all-star. I'm saying when he was in with the Knicks, he was an all-star. He was like 7'2", hitting the 3. He was a defensive presence. I'm saying, do you think that he's going to come in and be as good as him or way better?
Neither.
Porzingis is not good to me. Porzingis he should have been better than what he was.
Bro, he was an all-star when he came in the league. You saying
by popularity, not
okay.
skill.
Yeah, the fans took that.
I ain't gonna lie.
Popularity, not by skill.
Hey, that New York market will.
Hey man, he should be doing what AD is doing in the playoffs right now.
Yeah,
that's what he should have been doing.
Should be. He's not with the right. He's not with the right team.
Yeah,
he's not with the right team that will keep him. Wembanyama is 7'2" and 229. I have a problem with that.
229
at 7'2". He's not done growing yet.
Man, PJ Tucker is 229 and he's like 6'2".
Look at Wiseman. Look at Wiseman. He couldn't stay healthy.
And that's what's going to happen to Victor Wembanyama the moment he enters into the league. Because if you're smart, if you're like the Kings and the Warriors and the Celtics and anybody else that actually has someone that can punish him, no matter how big the height, sick him.
Hey, actually, even Durant, remember? Because Durant came in when they were still the Seattle Supersonics, and when he first came in, he couldn't even bench press.
Can we please bring back the Seattle Supersonics?
Yeah.
Can we just cut the Oklahoma City Thunder, tell them you're fired, send the Supersonics history back to Seattle and form a new version of the Seattle Supersonics?
I need that jersey.
Yeah.
I'm getting old. You know who my favorite besides Gary Payton and Sean Kemp?
I like Detlef Shrimp.
You know who my favorite Sonic was?
Who?
Tom Chambers.
Or Kersey.
I remember Kersey.
He spent his career in Portland.
Oh, also Sam. I liked Sam Perkins too.
Man,
that was Detlef Shrimp. That was
Sam Perkins was great too.
Yeah, I like
that Seattle history is something else. That Seattle history needs to come back. But my favorite Sonic of all time was Tom Chambers. Because, well, actually, I have two.
I liked Chambers when he was Pistons. I didn't follow him too much after that.
Well, there are two of my all-time favorite Sonics. One was Tom Chambers. The other was Jack Sigma. Because Sigma had that pivot baseline jumper that will kill you. You know, and no one saw that kind of post game before.
Well, that was fundamentals, bro. And back then, it was unheard of for your big man to be jacking 3-pointers. Now that's kind of why. Because let me give Dwight Howard some reverence, because he is in shape. The reason why he's out of the league, not because he was too fat or out of shape, is because he can't hit the three. That's why JaVale McGee could barely get on the floor, and that's why Rudy Gobert against certain teams, like he barely even gets no play. That's why the Jazz was like, let's get him up out of here. So I grew up old school.
They used him wrong.
Correct. I agree.
They used him wrong. Okay, here I go ruffling feathers again, and you're gonna enjoy this one. You know why Joel Embiid is not the best big man in the league?
Go ahead, Snowman. Let me hear this, because you making a bold claim.
I'm making a bold claim because I know what my eyes tell me. He has no consistent post game.
Yeah, period. That I can't refute. And look, I love Joel Embiid, and I'm impressed with the way that he's able to dribble. But when I see him acting like he's Kyrie Irving, I'm like, dude, what are you doing?
Yep.
He's over here doing step backs and doing jump. I'm like, bro,
he's got no business whatsoever doing step backs. None. He needs to be what Nikola Jokic is to the Denver Nuggets. Inside out, not outside in. And besides that, Nikola Jokic can actually hit that outside jumper on a consistent basis.
And it's so awkward that I'm just thinking that his shot is so ugly, but he's hitting it at a very consistent clip. His high pick and roll.
52% for his career.
Insane clip. I have to squint my eyes and think like, no, this can't be real. And then I watch him over and over again.
And it's totally real.
He's that clinic for how to pass as a big man and to run a pick and roll. And he barely gets off the ground. And somehow I look up, he's got 11 boards. I'm like, where did he get those rebounds?
Or sometimes he has a 20-20 game and you're wondering, where the hell did that come from?
And it seems quiet, but it's so subtly impactful. I remember when when the Lakers had won in the bubble,
Yeah,
and he was just destroying them, and it didn't seem like he was just going off, but he just methodically. And then as you look at the score, I'm like, damn, he really did have 20 rebounds, 20 points, 11 assists.
exactly. Well, this year,
And he's
24 and
unselfish,
11.
too.
24 and 11. Here's why. I will tell you the exact reason why Nikola Jokic will punish Victor Wembanyama. When the mouse is in the house and Jokic is smaller than Wembanyama, Jokic 6'11", Wembanyama 7'2". Nikola Jokic is 284 pounds. Victor Wembanyama is 229. Wouldn't you take 6'11", 284 in the post all day long over 7'2", 229?
Correct. And I know that I have seen Victor Wembanyama hitting the three,
Mhm.
but I've yet to see any stats so I could determine the consistency of it. I know just him being able to hit it is a threat.
He's hitting the three at 53% at a 53% clip. I just looked that up. 53%.
I'm talking about Wembanyama.
That's Wembanyama. That's
Oh,
the
okay,
stat I looked up.
But his defense, the
His
defense he's
defense
playing up.
is suspect. His defense is quite suspect. And not only is his
I
defense,
was more or less talking about the defense that he's facing. Jokic is
yeah.
facing high-level elite defenders, and he's still
Yep.
able to perform this. Wembanyama, I have seen some defense, but a lot of people right now he's a household name for whichever leagues that he's played. So there's a bit of theatrics to once he plays. So I
Yes.
can see a little Globetrotter-esque in some of the games
Mhm.
that he's playing.
Mhm. Well, that's what
where
everybody wants. That's what everybody wants to see now.
Correct. Yeah,
That's what everybody wants to
drives
see.
the
No
sale.
one wants to see any. No one wants to see any fundamentals anymore. They don't want to see any fundamentals anymore, and I have a problem with that.
They also don't want to see the physicality. Now, I don't want to see the physicality to the point of like the Kurt Rambis and clotheslining people. But
No,
I do
no,
want to
no,
see the
no. I
physicality.
want that. I want to see the physicality. I will throw it. Here's a name I'll throw at you. I want to see the physicality when Moses Malone used to just beat the hell out of people under the boards.
Yeah, I mean, I
Or
wouldn't
courts.
mind that because a lot of the NBA players, a lot more. So back in the day, trash talking, I agree that trash talking was worse back then because they were able to, when you got someone like Larry Bird, he was like
You took the exact name I was looking for. C. Larry
Correct.
Bird.
Larry Bird was a atrocious trash talker, but he backed it up. Now you got people like Dylan Brooks trash talking to LeBron, and you don't gotta like LeBron, but it's like, come on, bro, you're not built like that.
If you can trash talk LeBron and back it up, that's one thing.
That's different.
See Kevin Durant 2007.
Or Steph Curry, remember? Steph Curry used to kind of troll LeBron, but he would back it up.
Steph Curry killed LeBron, but he backed it up on the floor too.
Correct.
He backed it up on the. There's one sequence of Steph Curry I will forever love against LeBron, 2017 NBA Finals, Game 1, where he put on a dribbling clinic and had he had LeBron chasing his tail, and by the time Curry finally got to the hoop, LeBron blocking the wrong side of the board.
Yeah.
Now, if you can do that, if you can back it up with that, then you're good.
Yeah, no, I agree. And that's what I'm saying. Too many of these young players, they come in, and then we got none other than Big Rig Slap says, shout out
Big
the panel. And then he says Giannis was that small when he came in the league. Ask Joker if he want that smoke. So it seems that Victor Freeze is saying that Giannis was as small as Victor Wembanyama when he came in the league, and he's saying that Giannis is better than Joker. So it seems to me that he's saying, I know Victor Freeze is pro Victor, so it seems to me he's making the assertion that, hey, give Victor some time, and he'll probably be better than Joker.
Should the Bucks and the Nuggets go head to head in the finals, and it certainly can be that way, prove it there. Until then, look, and I love Giannis. Trust me, I absolutely adore Giannis Antetokounmpo. I love Giannis, and I love his game, and I love the fact that he won a title in Milwaukee. He's got 3 or 4 more at least before he hangs them up. But if you're saying that Giannis is better than Joker, let him go head to head.
That appears to be what Victor Freeze is saying.
I want that. This is why I love the playoffs. I want Joker and Giannis to go head to head. Should they make it that far? Should they make it that far? Still only in the first round. What's up, Big Rig?
Well, but the betting favors are saying it's going to be the Celtics to win it.
I want the best against the best.
Yeah.
May the best team come out of the East, and may the best team come out of the West.
Isn't that how it was settled, right? This is how we actually settled the dispute. We were saying, hey, who is the better big man? Is it David Robinson or is it Hakeem Olajuwon?
Or is it Hakeem Olajuwon?
I'll see you in the Western Conference Finals. That's how
they went head to head for 6 games.
Correct.
They went head to head for 6 games.
So
Robinson had his good games.
Had a series.
Olajuwon had David Robinson had 2 great games. Olajuwon had 4 of them.
And Big
Rig to you, Big Rig.
So shout out to Big Rig. Slaps in the building, and he says, "How many times have the Nuggets come out the West?" So Victor
Freeze it goes back to a point I said a moment ago. May the best team come out of each conference.
So I think the point he's making is that if Jokic is so good, how was he not able to come out the West? And I'm with you on that one, because the East is strong this year, but historically they have been weaker than the West, especially the past. So I would say that Giannis' road is easier to the finals than Jokic has to. The Western Conference Finals is truly the gauntlet to get through. Phoenix is tough. Clippers are tough.
I don't trust either. Let me stop you there. I don't trust either one of those 2 teams.
I don't trust them, but I would say they are a better opponent than facing the Knicks or the Cavs
or the Knicks or the Cavs or Philadelphia or the Brooklyn Mets.
That's all I was saying. But in terms of the top heavy, I would give the East a little bit of edge with Milwaukee and Boston. But other than that, all of the other in Boston, Milwaukee is having their hands full with
Atlanta. With Miami. I beg your pardon.
Jimmy Butler is out there bullying people all over the place. They got Kevin Love, who is revised. Like he doesn't play that much, but when he comes in, he's ready to go.
Right.
But Tyler Hero did break his hand, and I know Giannis has a back contusion.
Yeah. So. Injuries are the biggest thing when it comes to the playoffs. Injuries are the biggest thing.
Yeah, shout out to Victor Freeze. He says you're crazy good at interpretation. Well, I'm just if I got anything wrong, then just let me know in the chat, But it seems to be that I was accurate of that interpretation, and Brian Snow gave his retort to that. But without Tyler Hero, I can't see the Heat winning that, because Tyler Hero was on fire in Game 1. Him breaking his hand.
That's how they won game. He's the reason they won Game 1.
Mm-hmm. He is the reason.
He is the reason they won Game 1. Who's your football team?
For me, I like the Raiders.
Raiders.
I'm heartbroken, that they actually left Oakland and then, they went to Vegas. So I still represent. I'm not.
They should be in Los Angeles.
I agree. At least in California,
They should not be in Nevada. They should be in Los Angeles.
So because I have lost a little bit of fervor. It's still my team, but the way they did that, you know what I'm saying?
Listen, the Raiders should be in Los Angeles, tenanted with the Rams, not the Chargers in this.
Correct.
It should be the Rams and the Raiders that own that stadium. And I said it right. Own it.
Yeah. And shout out to Big Baby, because I know he's a Charger fan, So
listen, they should be the San Diego Chargers.
I agree. San Diego Superchargers. That's
Oh,
exactly
did you say San Diego Super? Where is that? Where is that song? I gotta find it now.
you know that song, San Diego Supercharger.
Man,
A lot of y'all young.
don't get me started. Don't get. Do I have it? Got your music a minute. I got a present for you. Are you looking for this one?
Looks like you got it on deck, huh?
San Diego Superchargers, San Diego Chargers, San Diego Superchargers, San Diego Chargers, Chargers.
Yeah, and I don't think as a LA team that they could really replace that, right?
No,
yeah,
they
team
can't.
that could replace that.
Just like Washington D.C. can't replace this. You know where I'm going.
Hail to the Redskin, hail victory. Praise on the warpath, fight for all DC.
Just like they can't replace that.
Yeah, they really can't. And
You can't replace Hail to the. When I was
yeah,
growing
no
up,
offense to anyone, but
no offense whatsoever.
what is it? What are they called now? Actually,
Commanders.
I think they're the Commanders now, right? I'm gonna be real. I liked it better as the Washington football team.
Listen,
Right.
when I was growing up, and my dad got me into football, it was the Washington Redskins. Period. And I'm speaking strictly as a fan. I got the Super Bowl Shuffle. I just have to upload it. But I remember that year.
Hey, or that dude. I mean, I know the dude came out, and he had some, I think, some either bigoted or racist statements. I don't know. But the dude that had "Are you ready for some football?" I ain't gonna lie, that song did used to get
Didn't
turned.
that get you ready for Monday Night Football?
Yeah,
Didn't that get you ready for Monday Night Football?
it really did, bro.
All the verses he would come up with for the different themes. Didn't that get you? You're gonna get ready for
I don't really see
I'm
that.
gonna go old school. I'm gonna go old school on you. Remember when the NFL was first on CBS? Like back in the 80s? But see, don't know that one. People don't remember that one. They just know this one.
Never.
It is kind of catchy, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely catchy.
It is kind of catchy. But stuff like that I miss. You know?
Yeah, no, I'm totally with you on that one. It seems like there's a lot of it's sports, as much as there are some phenomenal things in innovation, there are a lot of things that are lacking.
Yes.
And that are devoid. So when you come to with the sports, I mean with the basketball, the fundamentals, right? That aspect of it is lacking. The physicality is lacking, and then even just overall, it seems like the creativity is lacking because with the jingles that they used to have.
Insert slam dunk contest here. Talking about lack of creativity. Insert slam dunk contest here. Because there's no creativity in the slam dunk contest. There's no creativity with All-Star Weekend anymore. They got rid of the Legends game. And for what? For what?
Yeah, I really did actually like the Legends game. They also used to do like I don't know if they still do it. Do they still do that celebrity game?
They do the celebrity game, but it ain't really a celebrity game. Let me change my sentence. It is a celebrity game, but it isn't, if that makes sense. It's a celebrity game because it's called such, and there are some celebrities in there, but it's not a real celebrity game. There's no fun in it anymore. It seems like they tethered the skill. Here I go ruffling feathers. Hey, B-Eazy, here I go ruffling feathers again. It seems like they tethered the skill to the folks that have no skill. That makes sense.
And you're saying this was in reference to which sport specifically?
All-Star basketball, All-Star Weekend.
Yeah. Well, that it's kind of like a. That's why I said it's become more of a marketing participation trophy type of thing, where they're saying, "Hey, look,
I love that participation trophy."
That's really what it is. So they can find a reason.
That's what it's become.
Yeah, so they can find a reason to have these frivolous events that they know no one doesn't care about. But if they can market someone good enough, and you say, "Hey, I like this player," then now you start caring about things that are actually meaningless, right? So let's just say there's a hole in the wall burger joint that it may be okay, but then if your Steph Curry goes there, you'd be like, "Hey, maybe there's something there to it. I'm gonna go check it out."
And I'll give you the best example with the NBA. Insert play-in tournament here. Why can't it be top 8? If you're not one of the top 8, you don't deserve to make the playoffs. Period.
Right. So that's where it goes again too. But once again, it all ties into marketability and monetization. So I do agree with you, right? Because they'll preach to you and say that sports, which I do agree that sports is the true representation of a meritocracy, because if you ain't good enough, you're not going to make the team. But what they do with the play-in is say, "Hey, look, even if you're and I'm giving a nuanced balance, because I'm pretty much indifferent about it. I don't want to say that I'm against it, but I do hear like the opposition to it, because I grew up where there was no play-in. It's like if you wasn't good enough to be the 8th seed, you just didn't cut it. Next year.
Exactly.
But I understand it from a business model, and it's coming right off of March Madness. All of the parity, the uncertainty is very riveting, and people are kind of, it has a dramatic flair to it. Are the Lakers going to be out of the playoffs? Is this team going to get bounced out? And it's money, right? Because once they have those play-in games, it's literally the only game in town. So they kind of monopolize the ratings for those specific days, even where some other teams, they kind of push their events back, because they're saying, "Oh, we're competing against the NBA playoff. We're not going to get any viewership or substantial viewership." So I understand, because that's all the NBA is about, maximizing profits and monetization. So from that aspect, I do understand. But from a meritorious aspect, it is fraudulent, because
you're not one of the top 8 teams.
or at least at this time you weren't, because sometimes people make it in the play-in, and then they may not win the championship, but they at least may upset a team or something. So that could validate their claim for being there. But it's just,
and that, of course, puts ESPN in their back pocket.
What was that?
Storylines like that puts ESPN in their back pocket.
Yeah, correct. And that's the thing. And this is why when people, which I do, people are extremely conspiratorial when they say that certain stuff is rigged. But then sometimes you do have to objectively know that there is benefits to having certain teams play, right? So you don't have to like the Lakers, or you don't have to like the Celtics, the ratings are going to be down if the Lakers or the Celtics are not in the playoffs. If the Yankees are not in the playoffs or the Boston Red Sox, it doesn't matter how good your team is. The ratings are going to be down. All right, for sure. And,
my bad.
No, it's all good. So we kind of was getting back into the stream, but let me just segue right now. So of course the Knicks lost tonight, so the series is right up 1-1. They lost by 17, and let's just go through the stats. RJ Barrett kind of subpar game, 14 points, 3 rebounds. Julius Randle, 22 points, 1 assist, 8 rebounds. Jalen Brunson, 20 points, 6 assists, 5 rebounds. Emmanuel Quickly, 12 points, 1 assist, 1 rebound. That's not good enough to get it done on the road against a Cavaliers team, but the Knicks have already done their job. They got one there. So
they got one. I got to see more from Barrett. Barrett is.
I was not sold on Barrett when he came into the league, and I'm not sold on him now.
I mean, shouldn't he be having a better jump shot by now? I think he should be shooting better than he's shooting.
Well, I think when I watch his game, he's kind of afraid. It's wild because Julius Randle came in the league with the Lakers, and his 3-point shooting stunk, but now he's actually an extremely proficient 3-point shooter, and he was able to transform his game so he's able to play inside out. When you come to Barrett, he is really ferocious at attacking the paint. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that 3, it's kind of like De'Aaron Fox. His 3 ball was not looking good when he first got in the league.
Right. That's kind of like the league, man. That's the league, man. When you get in the league, a lot of players aren't there. You know what I mean? You got to work to get there.
In the league for a minute now, right?
Yeah. Like they gave him a bag too. He got the bag.
Yeah. So I got a quote for y'all from a movie called The Two Jakes in 1990. This explains my disdain for a certain 4-letter network or certain or certain sports networks in general, which have gone woke and have gone political. You can follow the action, which gets you good pictures. You can follow your instincts, which will probably get you in trouble. Or you can follow the money, which 9 times out of 10 will get you closer to the truth.
And that's true. Oh, everything you just said.
Can I get a witness, Shed?
Man, that sounds right on the money, man.
Can I get and this was from a movie in 1990. So
the gym.
The Two Jakes. For those of you who ask, it's The Two Jakes. I'll repeat it. I'll repeat the line. I'll repeat the quote again. And Jack Nicholson was in this movie, so you know it's very, very. It's legit. You can follow the action, which gets you good pictures. You can follow your instincts, which will probably get you in trouble. Or you can follow the money, which 9 times out of 10 will get you closer to the truth. And being a black man disabled after beating pancreatic cancer, I can attest to that entire thing.
Hey, man.
Shout out to Snowman for definitely.
Snowman.
Man, he not only is a strong debater and intellectual, he's a physically strong and spiritually strong to overcome the health ailments that he faces or may face in the future. So let me give another update with the Clippers and the Suns. It's looking ugly for the Suns. They're down 10 points. It's 42-32. The second quarter, 7:20 left. And on the stats, it looks like Russell Westbrook is coming out hot. 10 minutes, 10 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist. Kawhi Leonard, 8 points, 5 assists, 4 rebounds. Terrence Mann, 8 points, 1 rebound. We got Eric Gordon with 6 points, 1 assist, 1 rebound. And then on the Sun side, we got Kevin Durant
with 10. Kevin Durant only with 8 on 4 of 9 from the field.
That's not going to get it done.
Chris Paul 1 of 5 from the floor, 2 points, 2 rebounds, 5 assists. That's definitely not going to get it done. Devin Booker 2 for 5 from the floor. He's got 6 points, but hasn't hit a tray yet. And Russell Westbrook just completed a 3-point play, and now the Clippers have their biggest lead at 11.
And Booker should not have only 5 shots. That's insane.
Nope.
The Suns were doomed when they traded all of that defense for some offense. And the playoffs. And playoffs are right here, and you give away 2 amazing defensive players
who was cornerstone pieces to you for you to get
cornerstones for their team. You're right, man. I mean, they were set. You can't ask Chris Paul to come out.
They're both like 24.
They're asking Chris Paul right now to
in his 18th season. I believe this is his 18th season.
Durant is, let me see. Durant is what, 35 or something?
Yes.
Yeah, that was.
They traded away somebody that was 23 and 24. I mean, I like AD, but I don't. And didn't they give up a draft pick too? Didn't they give up a draft compensation too?
They must be trying to get Kyrie next year.
Honestly, I don't even think they're trying to do that, but
that's just
Kawhi just handed 3. It's now 48-36 Clippers. They're looking to go up 2-0 in that series.
Yeah, if the Clippers go up 2-0, it's a wrap.
Done. It's a wrap.
It's done.
It's a wrap. On my board, I got the Clippers in 6. I don't think I'm not sold on. Yeah, I'm not sold on the Suns with that trade.
George right now, the Clippers don't even have Paul George right now. He's still recovering from a knee injury, so they're saying he's not even
12 in game 2.
Yeah, and they actually kind of beat them handily. Well, it wasn't handily. It's just that they were much more hungrier in game 1.
Yeah,
the Suns could have won game 1. Exactly, they fell apart at the end. And Russell Westbrook, who stunk it up shooting, he was 3 for 19 that game, but he was making defensive plays. He had like 3 blocks, and he had a game-stealing block where he blocked it, maintained possession, and threw it off Devin Booker. So one thing,
I think they woke him up, man. They woke him up.
One thing about Russ, when he's playing trash and he's playing like Russell Westbrook, he doesn't give up on defense.
You got to think they was playing with his psyche, bro. They was playing with his whole. He went from up to down. Like when he got to LA Lakers, that was the lowest of he's ever been.
The lowest of the low. That was the lowest of the low. Nothing against the Lakers. It's just,
right.
The team chemistry messed with his psyche.
And the media too. It's just like if you play for the Lakers and the Knicks, they put out a bunch of toxic stuff. Like the Lakers were bad just because they had a bad team, but all of it was falling on Russ because his inadequacies were being very glaring. Right? He's
right.
But
his inadequacies. Here's the key point. His inadequacies were glaring. Guess who was being covered up?
Huh.
Speak on it, Snowman.
I'm dropping bombs tonight.
LeBron James, man, when you the king, LeBron James. Right now, LeBron James, I think, you got to put him into, he also made that roster. Like, I've never seen this in my life of basketball.
He was calling him the Brody.
I've never seen this ever in basketball life when a guy can pick his team.
Had a chance to get Buddy Hield.
Yeah, that was wild, right? They could have
got
Buddy
a chance to get Buddy Hield, and LeBron balked at that idea.
That's not who I want.
They traded away Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Kyle Kuzma, Josh Hart, was it Josh Hart? I can't remember, but they traded away like 3 players. I think it was JaVale McGee. They sent out like 3 or 4 players to get Russell Westbrook, and
the team they got right now is actually good. It's It's AD. Is he gonna always disappoint, or is he gonna always dominate? It's which one is it?
Which AD are you gonna get?
Hold on, Snow man. I heard you chirping. That sounded a little disrespectful.
Man, AD is the center of the problem there, man. For real, man. If he play, he supposed to average, like Shaq said, 30 and 13 every game.
Hold on, he led the league in.
Why are you laughing at me?
And
why are you laughing at me?
No, because let me just set this up for you. Let me give you alley-oops, no man. So sounds like you're making the implication that AD is either mentally or physically fragile, if not both. Is that what you're insinuating?
Did you see him say, "I can't move my arm"?
Let me put this in one sentence. He has yet to play a full season.
No. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, he's never played a full.
He's a seasoned veteran too.
he has yet to play a full 82 game.
That doesn't even sound right. Like that's Anthony Davis
in 12 years. I think 12 years.
12
in his 12th season out of Kentucky. He has yet to play a full 82 game season.
Hey B, he's the wild card, man. He is the wild card, man. Like he couldn't move his arm, and then he came back in the game.
I rest my case. Kyle Kuzma,
I'm like, bro,
Montrezl Harrell, and a first round pick for Westbrook. Figure that out.
Yeah, so he said he had a stinger. But it'd be so cringe because every time he gets fouled, he always grabs some. I'll be like,
oh my goodness.
Is he about to get hurt? It's so cringe to see, bro. Like literally
he's like 5 points off from being in the Dwight Howard mode.
That was a season.
He's like
this is his 11th season. This is his 11th year.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It is his 11th.
This is his 11th and Shetty, I'm going to shock the daylights out of you. You know the most games that AD has played in a season?
Go.
75.
See? Come on, man. And it just seemed like the whole time he was in New Orleans, he played every game or something. Like, I don't know, man.
Nah. In New Orleans, well, yeah,
in New Orleans, the most he's played in a season in his career is 75 games.
75 games.
75 games.
Back to back.
His last 3 years, all with the Lakers. His last 3 years, all with the Lakers.
He's played 56 this year,
40, and 56 games.
Yeah. And then that's
crazy.
First year with the Lakers, but I think he was traded. His first year he played 62 games, but
62 games.
That was the
bubble championship, which
that doesn't count.
That should have been. I'll go one step further. Which should have been his. It should have been Anthony Davis's unanimous MVP. Okay, it should have been his unanimous MVP. Guess who they gave it to?
Oh, yeah, that's what it was. My bad. Shout out to Eric Kwan. I forgot they gave up Kyle Kuzma, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Montrezl Harrell, and a first-round pick for Westbrook.
Figure that out, folks.
That's what I'm saying.
Damn.
Figure that one out, folks. Figure that one out.
Yeah, if AD play like he plays, he's supposed to average 30 and 13, 30 and 15 a game, bro. If he doesn't,
let me ask you this, because AD says he don't really like playing the 5. Do you think he don't like playing the 5 because he's just better suited at 4, or do you think he don't like playing 5 because he don't like banging?
Man, it really should.
He doesn't like
go ahead
because he's getting his ass kicked in the post.
Come on, man. What you mean you don't like playing the 5? You better get your ass on the hoop, on the block.
You better get your ass in the weight room.
Get out, man. What are you doing?
That's what they're stick here. You should have known that when you went. What's
He
the
don't
old
want to
question
bang with
line?
Jokic.
He don't want to bang with Jokic. He doesn't
Embiid.
want to bang with
Um,
Draymond Green. He doesn't want
yeah,
to bang with
and Draymond Green
Domantas
is like
Sabonis.
only 6'6".
Draymond Green is 6'6", and he's been banging Davis since they started playing against each other. Period.
Yeah,
Yep.
I like Draymond on defense. Like
Draymond on defense scares Anthony Davis to death.
Even Draymond, he shouldn't even be guarding Sabonis. Let's be honest. Sabonis is almost 7 feet, but Draymond is holding.
Well, they don't have any height. And
No,
it's-
that's
We don't got no height. That's what I'm gonna say. But we don't have no one else.
we don't have any height. That's what's killing us.
Me too. I'm just
Looney has played a good job. Game 1, he did a good job on Sabonis.
Yep.
He really D'd up.
He did.
Sabonis really can only go left. So
Yeah.
so
And
like
that's what's going to be the key.
like I was
That's what's
saying,
going to be
he
the key for Game
can-
3, making him go left, making him go left.
Snowman,
And-
they've been good on the initial stop. Actually, on Sabonis, they've been kind of doubling but he's been killing them on the glass, bro.
Demontis is 7 foot tall and can see over everybody.
if Looney goes out, it's a wrap on the boards.
Quantum, my wife
backup that they have?
my wife shares the same problem. She's only 5'3" and I'm 6'5". She calls me tall man around the house.
See, I'm telling you, man, that the Warriors, that's my team. I used to go see them when I was a kid. We used to go to the Coliseum at halftime.
Who is the backup, bro? I'm trying to figure out who is the backup behind Looney.
There are
There is none. It is none.
There are none.
It was supposed to be Wiseman.
It was supposed to be Wiseman, but the
I
Warriors
was trying to
stupidly
think,
gave
like,
up on him.
where's the backup? What? Yeah, okay. Now that makes sense.
They stupidly gave up on him. So when the draft gets here, and they have no assets, they have no assets. They got to develop somebody quick that's already in their G League organization.
Wow.
Yeah, they have no draft picks this year. They sold them all.
Goodness.
Yeah, that's
They
like the
sold-
Lakers.
they're gonna be in
Lakers
trouble
draft
next year.
goes to the
They sold them
Pelicans.
all. They traded them all.
I really wanted us to get Rudy Gobert. I thought that'd have been a good fit.
That would
Gobert
take a
would
miracle.
be-
That would take a miracle. Well,
Yeah.
actually, that would take a future second round pick because Rudy would be perfect in that system.
Perfect. Remember, he just got traded
Listen, when we
To the Jazz. I mean, yeah, to the Jazz.
to the Timberwolves,
to Minnesota.
He
when
got traded
when
from
we
the
had
Jazz.
when we had Kevin Durant on the team, I was really lighting some people up, and I knew this deal wasn't going to happen. But remember when Kawhi was a free agent and he had just won the finals for Toronto?
Mhm.
I put a little bug in a lot of people's ear, and I said it one night on the air. That's 36 days. Double it, and you wouldn't have a full season. We
He said,
compared.
"Man, y'all
No,
couldn't
they
play
need to
full
shorten the
content
season.
and pick
No,
up
they don't.
3 times a week for
Keep it where it
90
is.
days. That's 36 games. Double it, and you still wouldn't have a full season. We compare as if we know they need to shorten the season. Shorten the season to what? 60 games?
They don't.
Why?
They don't.
I know that's what I'm saying. Shorten the season for what, Victor?
They need to just take away this new play in and just go back to the old.
And
The 8 gets in.
can we get a witness? B-Eazy, didn't we say that for about 10 minutes?
Yeah, we did say that.
For real,
Didn't we
man.
say
This
that
was I didn't
while you were
I didn't
being-
understand it.
while you were being a proud papa, which I am also.
Right on, man.
Shout out
While
to
you were being a proud papa, B-Eazy and I sat here and said, chop the play-in tournament. 60. Are
Victor,
you kidding me?
60 you wilding, Victor.
60 games.
Okay.
That's
Can I
minus
say something
22
real and raw here, please?
Speak
Can I
on.
just say something as raw as I can, please? I'm asking I'm not a mod on the channel yet, so I'm asking permission.
Oh,
I'm
yeah, hold
properly
on. Yeah, no, go ahead.
I'm properly asking permission here. Now that I got permission, I'm going to go ahead and say it. You shorten the season to 60 games. You're making every player in that league feel like a pussy. And of course, half of the players are a pussy. But that's just my opinion. I could be wrong. We're at halftime in Phoenix, and the Suns have come back from 12 down to even the game at 59 as they go to the break.
Wow.
And Victor's right. They don't want to give up that money. Of course, they don't want to give up the money. Shorten the season to 60 games. You know how exorbitant the salaries would be for a 60-game season? If you think
Don't
they're
do-
off the roof now, imagine if Adam Silver actually goes through with his thought of shortening the season to 65 games. What? And including a mid-season tournament.
A mid-season tournament.
They've been talking about it for 2 years. If I were commissioner,
Hey, yeah, they are pushing that
if I were dictator of the league, if I were dictator of the NBA, I'd make a few simple moves. One, I'd push the plunger on that play-in tournament and get rid of it. If you're not one of the top 8 teams, you don't deserve a spot in the playoffs. You don't even deserve to sniff a chance to get in the playoffs.
Right.
That's the first thing I would do. Second thing I would do, I put a moratorium out. You must play at least 75 games per season. I understand the load management thing and not wanting to play back to back, but let's get back to the old school. If you're scheduled to play a game, you play it.
Yeah.
Leave it to your coach to figure out if you can start or you need to rest or you need to come off the bench. Okay? That's the coach's problem to figure out. That's the second thing. Third thing, I would tell Clay Bennett and his ownership group at Oklahoma City, get the hell out of my house and stay out. And I'd push the plunger on Oklahoma City. I wouldn't push the plunger on the Seattle history that they unfairly snatched. And I'd immediately install a team in Seattle. It wouldn't be a current team either. Since the NBA is making money hand over fist, they can go to Seattle and say, look, we'll fit the bill for your arena for the first 3 years. And as soon as you start turning over a profit, you can start paying us back. Matter of fact, I even do it for the first 10 years because the NBA ain't nothing without the Seattle Supersonics.
I don't even want to see Oklahoma City play.
Yeah,
I don't watch them.
The city is kind of a joke because
It is a joke.
Because they're really not trying to win. And if you think about the names that went through there, they had Russell Westbrook, they had
James
Kevin
Harden.
Durant, they had James Harden, they had Diallo, they had Victor Oladipo was there,
They had Victor Oladipo, they had Serge
they
Ibaka,
had Paul George, Serge Ibaka, they had Steven Adams.
and they weren't trying. And after 2016, when they lost the 3 games to 1 lead, they weren't trying to win. They haven't been trying to win.
They keep tanking. So all they do, they tank. But if they play like what's considered a marquee game, like the Lakers or the Celtics, then they play all their starters and they try to win. But the rest of the games, they're tanking. Like,
Wow.
Bruh, they've been doing it for years.
They've been doing it since 2000. They've been doing it since 2016. Nobody wants to talk about that except us. But who are we, right?
But what their excuse has been that they're a small market team.
That's
and
some grade A homogenized Holstein bullshit. Because the Milwaukee Bucks are a small market team, and they won a championship 2 years ago. Try again.
And that year that they won the championship, Milwaukee Bucks said, "Hey, we're a small team, but we just gonna cash out." They got Drew Holiday, they got Brooke Lopez.
They cashed all the way. They cashed all the way. They cashed out. They sold out, and then they cashed in.
Yep.
They sold out, and then they cashed all. They cashed all the way in. So don't give me that small market stuff.
Yeah, it's money out there.
That's small market.
That's the new California. That's the new California.
Hey,
You know what?
they
I'm gonna tell you
always sell
something.
out
You
every
want a small
game.
market team? You want a small market team that's a number 1 seed right now? The Denver Nuggets.
Yeah.
They're a small market team, and they're the
They
number
never
1
even
seed, and
won
they're
a
pushing
final.
for a title. Don't give me that small market stuff. I don't buy it. I won't buy it. I won't ever buy it. That's an excuse for tanking. That's all that is.
That's
And if
exactly
it sounds
what
like I'm
it
getting
is.
riled up about the NBA, I am, and I'm explaining why I don't watch a full game anymore.
Oh no, I'm with you there. I watch my teams now. I do watch full games, to give analytical breakdown. Luckily, I have access to watch all the games. But
Yeah.
some people want you. If it's a team that you don't, you just need to see the basics. You can learn a lot just from the highlights. To be honest, bro, the highlights.
I
and the
watch
stat
30
board.
I pick and watch 30 seconds of highlights, and I make my analysis from there. And then I follow the trends upon those highlights.
And look, when I do that and I give an astute analysis, people be like, "Man, you really watched the game?" I'm like, "Actually, I didn't," and I'm able to give a more comprehensive analysis than
Than
somebody
some of
that
these
was
people
watching
that
it.
are on television right now that actually watch the full game.
Yeah,
Right.
because they're watching it to be like a little Stan fanboy, and I'm watching it to break it down from the X and O's and in
Can
the
I get a witness?
fundamental sense.
Because when you and I talk with Jonathan all the time, you know, the first thing he'll ask me, "Did you watch the game?" Nope. Watched a few seconds of it, and here's my breakdown. Where have I been wrong?
And look, yeah, and look, I was gonna say that when I get my breakdown, people be like, "I agree with that," and I was like, "See, you didn't even need to watch the game." And I agree. Now you're talking, Victor Freeze. He says,
Thank you, Victor.
Incentivizing tanking. It's true. They do incentivize
They
tanking.
incentivize the day. They incentivize the daylight out of it.
And also the load management, right? That's why.
gosh.
Imagine this, bro. The tickets are through the roof. So imagine Shetty and Snowman is taking their kids to the game, but Kawhi Leonard is sitting for load management. Giannis is
Or
sitting for
Stephen
load
Curry is
management.
sitting for load management.
Yeah, they're not going to
Jaylen
give you a
Brown.
refund. And now your kid don't get to see his favorite player because they want to rest.
Yeah, that's stupid to me. That's
I-
absolutely
Stupid.
That's absolutely stupid to me. You're scheduled to play 82 games, and unless you are physically unable, and I will admit fatigue is a big part of it, but if you are physically unable, if you take care of your body, and the players back in the day ate like crap, but they took care of their bodies.
Took care of their bodies, and they played.
And they played. Exactly. That's how you take care of your body. You get out there and play.
Correct.
If I spend $600 on 2 tickets and I get there and they say LeBron ain't playing, AD ain't playing, Curry ain't playing,
Peace out.
and Clay ain't playing, I'm hot. I'm hot.
I'm asking for a refund, and I'm saying peace out. You ain't gonna see me again. But for me, I've always said this, and I will always say this. After having the pleasure of covering the Bulls for 3 seasons, I don't go to an NBA game unless I'm strapped with a press pass. I don't go to an NBA game unless I am strapped around my neck with a press pass that says Brian Snow, Snowman Multimedia is admitted for this game or this season. Period. Because I know what the fans are like. I know what the fanalists are like, and everybody's got a phone now, it seems like. And they take one highlight, they post it on social media, and they blow it clear out of proportion without looking at the rest of the game. Ask any rose-colored glasses-wearing Cowboy fans.
Oh, come on.
Listen to my sentence again.
Hey, we got one on
Rose-colored
the phone that we could ask.
Listen,
We
Shetty,
got a
listen to my sentence
diehard
again.
on the-
Listen to my sentence again, because I don't include you in that bunch. Ask any rose-colored glasses-wearing Cowboy fans.
There you go. I got you.
That's
I
why
got
I
you.
said, listen to my sentence. Listen to my sentence again.
Uh-huh.
Rose-colored glasses-wearing Cowboy fans. Do I need to say any more?
Nope. I feel it. Yeah, man.
And what's sad, it's getting worse.
It was looking ugly
I'll
for the
give
Suns,
y'all
but they
a
were
prime
able to
example.
find it.
Since we're at halftime of this game, I'll give y'all a prime example. And B-Eazy, I'm going to make you crack up laughing. When the Cowboys played the 49ers this past January in the divisional round, and the Cowboys took a 6-3 lead with that touchdown, I had a whole slew of Cowboy fans on my social media, and then the kick after was blocked.
Oh.
And I said, you guys were saying? And then the miracle catch by George Kittle
Oh, man.
when he had no business making that catch. I looked at that. My wife looked at that. Wife looked at me, and she said to me, "No wonder you call him the animal."
I knew he was going to be do you know that same year the Niners took him, the Cowboys was going to take him.
Well, San Francisco beat you to it.
Beat us to it. I remember him in the draft. He was the fastest he was the fastest
Fastest
tight end that was coming out, and we needed a tight end and the Niners snatched him right in front of us.
Cowboys dropped the ball.
John Lynch said, "No, you don't."
The
Yeah,
Cowboys
he
have
said.
Hanson's with it.
John Lynch said, "No, you don't."
Yeah, right now tight end.
Tight end right now, bro. They kind of trash at tight end.
You know, see the problem with Dallas is, man, they don't want to pay nobody, man. They really, really want you to play for less money.
Minimal.
The minimal, and they try to make it like, hey, you're doing it for the organization, like you a fan or something.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey, look, man, the Eagles is showing everybody right now, spend the money.
There's a difference between the Warriors saying that, the Eagles saying that, the 49ers saying that, and the Cowboys saying that.
Right. We're gonna draft Malik Hooker. We're gonna pick up Malik Hooker and try to make him a starter and say, oh, we're gonna put him in a rotation. When
everybody teased me,
we need Buda Baker.
Well, everybody teased me when we were down to Brock Purdy, and everybody was throwing Mr. Irrelevant on my timeline, and all he did was help us complete a 10-game winning streak to close the season.
Yeah, that was. I will say this though, there is no team that played the Brock Purdy Niners better than we did. We kind of really showed the next team what you got to do to this kid.
Yep. Yeah, you pressure him.
You got to pressure this kid. He was back there dancing.
But
he was back
pressure him for the entire game.
The entire game, yeah, that was it. And you know, I think a big man, Dak Prescott is the Achilles heel of the Dallas Cowboys.
Don't do that.
You know how the 49ers rescued themselves in that game? Because we were in a dogfight. I absolutely said defensively we're going to be in a dog pile. I'll tell you the exact play that rescued the 49ers. The miracle catch by George Kittle.
Yeah, that was big.
Because
I think the pick he threw in the red zone was the biggest play of the game. That right there, I think, made the Niners say, we got him.
Yep.
Because he choked in one of the biggest. This was the big drive. We would have that drive in the red zone was almost an answer. We coming right back.
That should have been an answer. That should have
been. He threw a pick, man. That
been a 16-all tie.
You get that defense rolling. You get that team going. Come on, Dak. You've been in the league too long. You can't blame it on CD. Can't blame it on nobody. Nope. You throw that in the dirt.
You ground that. Make sure somebody's in the area, and you live to play the next down.
That's why I say he's not the quarterback.
You absolutely live for the next down in that case.
And see, everybody think he makes a lot of money. He's not one of the highest paid players. Like he's only making 40. It's like 8-9 other quarterbacks better than him.
I think Derek Carr is making more than him.
I mean, making more money than him. It's a lot of them.
Derek Carr is Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts,
Kirk Cousins,
and don't ask me how Kirk Cousins is making more money than Dak Prescott because those two are on the same damn level.
Man, I'm trying. I said Dak Cousins.
Garoppolo is making more than him.
Say again.
Jimmy
Garoppolo. Yeah, Jimmy Garoppolo just got a new deal with the Raiders.
Yeah.
Wow.
See,
he sure did.
Here's what I put this on my community tab, or I will put it on my community tab. I'm so far behind in video editing, it's not even funny. But when wife comes home, I shut everything down and make sure she's situated first. But be that as may, my partner Cole asked me, how will Jimmy G perform with the Raiders? He'll be fine as long as Josh McDaniels isn't calling the plays.
Yeah, that's the guy right there. That guy there.
Daniels, because he was spot on when he was with the Patriots, and then he just started looking like it.
Thank you. He had his big uncle to tell him what to do all the time. He had Uncle Belichick telling him what to do.
Victor says that works on everyone but Tom Brady. Every team wishes they could get pressure on the quarterback all games. Easier said than done. Victor, let me correct you. Week 13 of this past season, we beat the hell out of Tom Brady. on the scoreboard and in the pocket and forced him into 2 fourth down incompletions. Both of those occurred in the red zone.
Now, Tom Brady definitely was less than stellar, but that Bucs line was trash. The Bucs
line
were
was pure unadulterated trash.
Yeah. Now that doesn't excuse the
no.
You know how good that the Niners, because the Niners defense is legitimate. There's no way.
We picked up Javon Hargrave from Philadelphia and signed him to a 4-year deal. Good.
Yeah, I can't say anything to undermine that defense. But I will say that the Bucs, their line was trash like the whole year.
Right.
What about the Niners line though? Because the Niners, their offensive line was decent, but it was more that the running backs were just good at the second level.
The line got better as the season went on because we lost a couple of offensive linemen to injury early in the year. So we had to scramble for 7 weeks.
Okay, yeah, because I was wondering because it was at one point where they were just getting dominated.
We were getting dominated. Atlanta dominated us, and Kansas City dominated us.
And it was another game too that they were. I can't remember the team, but they were up. They were up big, and then they end up choking that game.
The game that turned it around for us was Kansas City, because Kansas City beat us into the ground, 44-23.
But they were up that game.
No, we led 10-0.
Oh yeah, that's what it was. I was like, hold on,
we led 10-0. We led 10-0.
But that was only in like the first. That was in the first half.
That was the first 7 minutes. We led 10-0, and then we pissed off Patrick Mahomes, and he woke up.
Yeah, now that's not something
we pissed off Patrick Mahomes going up 10-0. That's as pure as I can put it. We pissed him off, went up 10-0. And then Patrick Mahomes said, "Oh yeah, take this."
He said, "Hold my Gatorade."
He said, "Hold my Gatorade and hold my beer that I'm going to drink when I win."
Yeah, shout out to Patrick Mahomes, and I'm a Raiders fan, so they're a divisional nemesis and rival, but we have to be objective here. I'm not a Niners supporter. We have the
they're a division devil of you guys.
Correct. Because even all the way back to what was the dude that passed away? Derek Thomas.
Oh
man,
I have a game. I'm trying to get a game of his where he had 7 sacks against Seattle in 1990.
Yeah,
I'm trying so hard to get that original broadcast. Yeah, he gets the ball out too quick. Absolutely, he does. Absolutely, he does. But we still kicked his ass in that game. We did to them what Philadelphia did to us, and what Dallas did to us to a point. Pressure the hell out of them.
Philly's defense was legitimate, and shout out to Shetty. He had to drop down because he's a diehard Cowboys fan. But I had told him, before, and I said, bro, you guys are the 3rd best team in your division because at this point the Giants were ahead of them, and I still kind of stuck to that because I did like the Giants, but I kept telling them that Philly is legitimate. They are way better than you guys right now.
Yep.
And Shetty didn't want to believe it, and he kept saying, "Oh no, our defense." And I told him, "Look, Hurts is miles ahead of Dak Prescott right now, and the weapons that they got out there with Brown,
AJ Brown.
Yeah, the Eagles got, and what's the other one that came out of Alabama? Is it?
I see his name.
I know his name.
It's on the tip of my tongue.
Is it Devontae Smith?
Devontae Smith. Thank you. That's him. Devontae Smith.
So
I'm saying
the same page, man. I was able to see this in the beginning of the season. I'm telling you, the Cowboys fans, like Shetty was saying, yeah, the Cowboys going all the way, and I'm looking like, bro, y'all are not about to get past Philly, bro. And nobody wanted to believe in Philly. I did, and then they won.
I did. At the top of the season, and I swear to you, I can find the tape where I said this on my show. When I was asked who would I pick to participate in the NFC Championship, I said Philadelphia and San Francisco without even blinking.
Yeah, I know. I definitely said that, and if Shetty come back up here, he'll be able to vouch.
I hope he does.
And wait until the playoffs to say that I said this before. I literally was saying this in like week. I was saying this in week, I think like week 4, because the Cowboys started out bad, and my boy Shetty was saying that they should just like just drop Dak and try to focus on next year.
Mhm.
I told him it wasn't that dire, but I definitely didn't have the Cowboys making it out. So
I said without blinking, Philadelphia and San Francisco would play in my NFC Championship game. It was just a matter of who had home field advantage. That's it. And I say the same thing this year. I say the same until somebody beats Philadelphia and beats San Francisco before they get to the 3rd week in January. I'm still picking them to be in the NFC Championship.
So what about the draft? What do you think the needs are for the Niners in the draft?
Offensive line.
And do you pay attention to the mock
Offensive
drafts?
Offensive line.
That's what they're saying for the Raiders too, because I think the Raiders have the 7th pick, and that they keep coming up for the mock
offensive.
draft.
I will be doing a live draft coverage special on my channel of the 1st and 2nd rounds. I will do a live draft Thursday night draft special.
So what position are you guys drafting at?
Right, we are in the 2nd round, and we have picks 99, 101, and 102.
Okay.
I will tell you 2 quarterbacks who should get a lot of love right now, but they're not. One of them is Max Duggan.
Is Max Duggan out of TCU?
Yep. And the other
Max Duggan is an animal, bruh. I seen this
Max
dude
Duggan is
literally
a dog.
on one leg.
I absolutely love Max Duggan.
Max
I love
Duggan
Max
is a
Duggan.
beast, bro.
Max Duggan is a. You know why he won't get a lot of love? Because he got blown out in the national championship game. Hey, shit happens.
But come on, like you said, that was just that team was that Georgia team was stacked.
Georgia is just plain better. And I say
They had like a top recruiting class. That Georgia team was stacked. So
I'm going to say this. I think Georgia gets to Houston and makes it 3 in a row.
Yeah, I could say did their quarterback was it Sterling Bennett? Didn't he declare for the draft?
Yeah,
or what?
he's in the draft. He was a 4-year starter at quarterback.
Yeah.
Oh, he was a walk on and didn't start until this year. And I'm going back watching college football highlights, getting hyped up for this season, getting hyped up for the draft. I'll make another prediction. I can tell you who should be the favorite for the Heisman Trophy right now. And of course, you know I got a 2-foot smile on my face. You ready for the name?
Yeah.
Brock Bowers from Georgia.
Nice.
Brock Bowers should be the Heisman Trophy favorite. He probably won't be, but he should be.
Yeah. So in terms of, let's just talk about, since we kind of delved into the draft. So out of the top quarterbacks, like who do you think is the most comfortable that you would be safe with? So they got Bryce Young out of Alabama. They got CJ Stroud out of Ohio State.
Yep.
There's Anthony Richardson from Florida. Hendon Hooker from Tennessee. Jake Hayner from Fresno State. Aiden O'Connell from Purdue. Clayton Tune. And speaking, these are what they have the top ranked. They have Max Duggan ranked at 313th overall.
That's a mistake.
This is insane.
I wouldn't trust any of the quarterbacks that you named, except maybe Jake Hayner. I wouldn't trust any of them.
Jake Hayner and the guy from Florida, Anthony Richardson, and he's
Hell no.
No, but I'm not saying he's better than Max Duggan.
Right.
He is a good prospect, but they're saying Will Levi from Kentucky, the
Will
senior
Levis.
quarterback, they have him ranked at number 5, and I
Right.
don't know who the heck this dude is.
Okay.
They even have
This is how I can categorize Will Levis for you, and I'm gonna make you growl, but I'll make you smile at the same time. Will Levis is a college version of Derek Carr with the Raiders.
Oh wow!
Inconsistent at
That's all
best.
we need to hear.
Do I need to say any more?
No, if he's that, then I'm definitely not picking him this high.
I'm saying Will Levis is Derek Carr. All right, that's all I got to say.
But this is wild, bro, because Max Duggan actually went to the title game,
and they're ranking him below Will Levis.
Bro,
why?
They have Stetson Bennett ranked at 306.
What?
Correct.
They have Stetson Bennett ranked where?
Yeah, they got Bryce Young ranked at number 2, CJ Stroud number 4, Will Levis number 5, Anthony Richardson number 9, and then after that, these numbers go way down. And
give me those four names again, and I'll end your statement after you name
Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, Will Levis, and Anthony Richardson,
and they all suck.
You think
college
CJ Stroud
game does not translate to the NFL game? Those wide open receivers that they continually hit.
Yeah, that's right.
You ain't gonna find them in the NFL.
In college, when, like, let's say the SEC, right? They have an imbalance when it comes to recruiting, right? But when you come to the league, everyone is fast, right? There's no imbalance of, hey, you know, if we play a ACC team or a Mountain West team, that we're going to be faster. No, if you play an NFC or AFC team, you're going up against speed, strength, agility. So I know what you're saying.
If you play a team as physical as Philadelphia or San Francisco, or to a point Kansas City. It's different in the NFL. You must make your adjustments. And these guys aren't ready to make those adjustments. And
it's a different level of speed too, because
the level of speed is ridiculous in the NFL.
Yeah, because I see the linebacker
from a fellow who covers the NFL from afar. The speed is ridiculous.
Yeah, and some of these linebackers are faster than the receivers. So when you factor that in, that's why, you know, when these the scramble quarterbacks, now they do have people that have Olympic level speed, like Lamar Jackson, but that's very rare. The other players, they don't have that type of speed, or they don't have the pocket presence. See, Mahomes is just fast enough to be elusive, but he has the pocket presence, and he can make all sorts of quirky, quacky looking passes, sidearm, overhead, that many people
sidearm over the head. Well, his second sport was baseball.
What you think about Eric Kwan? Because I think he's a Niners fan too. And shout out to Eric. Eric, if you want to come up, we're probably gonna be.
We have our edge rushers. We just signed Javon Hargrave to a 4-year deal. Secondary, we need to shore up.
Yeah, the secondary is a bit shaky. I remember the Niners always had phenomenal safeties, bro. Whether it was Ronnie Lott, Merton Hanks, even the one dude
Williamson, Eric Wright, Dwight Hicks. I can tell you the whole history of that 49ers secondary. I'd go secondary with the second pick we have. The first pick, we got to get in. We have to strengthen our depth on both lines.
Correct.
We lost a lot of people in free agency.
And that's what the Niners have always been known for, having dominant lines on both sides. That's actually why the Cowboys were good for so many years, because they were regarded.
Jimmy Johnson set that team up. Jimmy Johnson set that team up, and then Jerry Jones stupidly fired him.
Yeah, because
Jerry Jones stupidly fired him.
And you know why? Because Jimmy Jones was saying, look, you're not going to little boy me. You can't even really teach me anything when it comes to the X's and O's. Just stay the heck out of my way, and I'm going to do my thing. And Jerry Jones kind of did feel a type of way, because he knew that Jimmy Jones was right about what he was saying.
He was right.
but he kind of just was saying, "Hey, this is my castle, and I don't need you." And he
Right.
tried to groom his son to be able to fulfill the role that Jimmy Jones was doing. But it's like, come on, that's just an
Yeah.
unreasonable
How did that
act.
turn out?
Exactly.
How did that turn out?
Yeah, so Jerry Jones' ego has been a highly detrimental to the Cowboys' success. Even when he had Parcells, right? Him and Parcells used to get into it.
Because
And it looks
Parcells knew
like,
what he was doing, and Jerry Jones does not.
and let me bring up
Jerry
Eric
Jones don't know what
Corn.
he's doing. Jerry Jones knew what he was doing when he hired Jimmy Johnson. That's as far as it went. That's as far as it went. And
So
when it comes to now, he needs to go.
hey, what's up, Eric? Is that you?
Yes. Yes.
Hey, what's up, Eric? How are you?
Good, you?
I'm good, man. To answer your question, I'd go secondary because we don't
Well,
have any.
I'm a Las Vegas Raiders fan, so I'm a Raiders
Oh,
fan.
okay. You a Raider? I didn't know if you was a Raiders
Yeah,
fan or
that's why.
Yeah,
That's why I
yeah.
said
Where
defense.
you,
That's why I said
Eric?
defense.
Where are you located, buddy?
I'm in Los Angeles.
Los
Okay,
Angeles.
yeah. I'm out here in the Bay.
hmm
What state you in, Snowman?
I'm in Indiana.
Okay, cool. Yeah,
I am in Indiana.
And Eric, so
Eric, I
it,
just subscribed to your channel, buddy.
So yeah, thanks for stopping by, Eric. We definitely appreciate you. And yeah, go whenever you get the opportunity. Definitely go over to subscribe to Snowman Multimedia. We have really fun, substantive, valuable, meaningful conversations about sports, amongst other things. But Eric, I want to ask you two questions. So first, do you follow basketball, and what is your team? And then also when it pertains to the Raiders, because they have the 7th pick in the mock draft, is saying that they're probably going to draft an offensive line. Would you prefer getting an offensive lineman or a defensive lineman? Like, which hole do you think is more glaring? Go ahead, Eric.
In basketball, I'm a Lakers fan,
Okay.
and with the 7th pick, I'm drafting a corner. I'm not taking an O-line because their defense is one of the worst in the league. They would get torched against the pass, which their coverage is so terrible. Like, they give up too many big plays. So I'm going with secondary, the 7th pick.
Who's your pick in the secondary? Who do you select with the 7th pick?
Devin Witherspoon.
Okay.
The corner out of Illinois.
Yeah, no, I actually like him. I seen excuse me, I actually seen him some of his games. So yeah, Witherspoon is definitely ranked number 1. Outside of that, then they got Christian Gonzalez from Oregon. I'm on the West Coast, so of course, you know,
I've seen Mr. Gonzalez. They're hosting Gonzalez up in the Bay. They're really taking a look at him. If we go secondary, it'll probably be Christian Gonzalez that we select, unless he's not on the board.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. When it's a secondary, you usually got to go like 10 deep, because the top 5 they usually get up out of there. And number 3, they got Joey Porter Jr. from Penn State, and then they have number 4, Cam Smith out of South Carolina. And when I'm listing off, it's just the top defensive back prospects. Number 5 is Emmanuel Forbes from Mississippi State. Then we got Deontay Banks, number 6 from Maryland. We got DJ Turner, number 7 from Michigan. I have seen DJ Turner play, and he is a gamer. Keely Ringo from Georgia is number 8. We got Julius Brents, number 9 from Kansas State, and Tyreek Stevenson, number 10 from Miami. So if any of the teams get any of those, I think they will be in good hands with the draft.
Yeah.
So,
well, I'm gonna have to step away because I got one project finished before I call it a night.
Okay, cool. So you got to step away. So, Snowman, I'm gonna
Yeah.
just give you the floor because I'm actually I only got probably 20 minutes left, and then I got to step away because I got another stream to do tonight on a different channel. So, Snowman, go ahead, give your closing remarks about the stream, and go ahead right now.
I've had a blast. I had an absolute blast being here tonight, talking sports with everybody. Differing opinions, facts coming behind it, and you guys supporting me. That means a lot to me. I can't say thank you enough for just being there, just having y'all there. And I'm gonna turn my camera on real quick. Thank you guys for being there for me and with me, and thanks for letting me up tonight to talk sports with you guys. And I've had a blast. If you want some more sports coverage, go to youtube.com/Snowman Multimedia and tell your friends about Snowman Multimedia, because the main reason I'm doing it, A, because I love to do it, and B, I'm trying to get monetized before the summer hits, and got a lot of work to do. So thank you so much for letting me up thank you so much for letting me up tonight. I appreciate it. And I'm going to go ahead and have B-Eazy drop me down. Good night, y'all. God bless you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thanks, brother. And before you go, Snowman, if you don't mind, if you can just leave either whatever the best contact number or email is in the private chat so that I can hit you up so that we can kind of try to collaborate on some streams, and we can work on both of our channels, you know what I mean? And anything, like, you literally can take this whole stream and post it on your channel. And I think now StreamYard offers an option where you can stream to your audience even from this, but we'll discuss it further in the back chat. I mean, once I contact you, Snowman.
I appreciate it. I really appreciate it. And thank you, Victor, so very much. Thank you, Eric. Thank you, everybody.
Victor,
I appreciate
Victor is solid. Like, even though we disagree, it's always going to be respectful.
It's respect among respect among everybody. This is lunchroom sports talk, just in front of a camera and in front of a microphone. That's how I've always viewed it.
Bingo. All right, Snowman. So I'm going to drop you down, and I will definitely be in touch with you, brother.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Peace. Okay. All right, Eric Juan. So let me dig into, before I shut the stream down, let me dig in a little bit more with the Lakers. What have you been seeing from the Lakers? Oh, hold on. Let me get to Victor Freeze real quick. He says Jerry Jones knows, but he has a way he wants to be remembered by how he conducts business. He knows his son is right, but his time will come. Let the old man go out doing it his way. Jerry Country Dumb. I got you. Hey, look, he built his empire so he can do whatever he wants. So I all I'm doing is just giving some criticism constructively. He doesn't have to listen to me or do anything that I say, but we're just giving our own perspective on it. So shout out for that comment. And he says good talk. So good talk with Snowman, my brother Brian Snow, and Victor Freeze coming in with a good perspective. And even Quantum is surprising me. She said she don't know sports, but she knows more about sports than I was led to believe. We do need some female energy to see, because there's a lot of women that know, treasure troves of information about sports. So if any of y'all ever want to do a stream and collab on sports, it will be covering many of the sports that people don't typically cover. Of course, now it's the NBA playoffs, but March Madness, MMA, a lot more stuff is coming up. So, Eric, I want to say, what have you been seeing from the Lakers? Have you been impressed? Have you been unimpressed? Are you excited? What you think, Eric?
It's all about consistency. I think one game they show up to play, and then the next game they just become lackadaisical. The rotations are shaky at times because I've seen too many small ball lineups that they have centers in the bench just waiting to show up in the game, and you can't find them on the court. Um, that's why AD played too many minutes, and sometimes it feels like he pulled something, like he's feel like too much soreness going on, or he needs some icy hot or something. Like,
Yeah, he always seems a little hobbled. That's why I said every
Mhm.
time he goes down, he grabs something and it's kind of cringy. And then did you
Mhm.
see the other day he had a stinger and he's saying, "Oh, I can't
Yeah.
feel my arm."
hmm
So, and I agree with you in terms of the consistency because AD will play like a monster, literally unstoppable, have like 30 points, 17 rebounds, and then the next game he's struggling to get 10 points. And sometimes he's too scared to go bang down in the post. He's just taking jump shot after jump shot from the high post. It's like, do you see that too? Like, do you think he's not always aggressive, or like, what do you see?
He's too passive. He's too passive with his size, and that's what I don't like about him. Like, I wish I was like 7 feet tall, just dominating the paint and having a post up moves and just dunk on people. But AD doesn't do that like consistently. He just sells for jumpers like it's like he wants to be a stretch four instead of playing the five. Like,
he literally doesn't want to play the five, and
that's
that's
what.
why sometimes him and Darvin Ham get into it. And I think Frank Vogel would have some issues like that too because they had to adjust their lineup because they were better when AD plays the five, but AD doesn't want to play the five. And then once AD plays the five, LeBron is still tall enough and strong enough to play the four. But if AD is kind of being a wuss about playing the five, it forces LeBron to the three, which means their lineup isn't as shifty and switchy as it could be. By them having to play a traditional big like Dwight Howard, it also eliminates that 3-point threat, even though AD has been abysmal from the 3-point line. Just the fact that he's able to pose the threat of being able to hit the 3-pointer is what keeps defenses at bay. But if they have a Dwight Howard out there, a Clint Capella, a Rudy Gobert, they're just gonna pack the paint because they know that they're not a threat to shoot. So while he is able to hit it, he doesn't hit it consistent enough, and sometimes he falls in love with the jumper and just starts jacking up threes left and right.
Yep.
So do you think that because I know Ja Morant, I'm pretty sure that he's out for game 2. How do you see this series going? Do you think the Lakers will sweep them, win in 5, 7? What do you think? Your predictions?
I would not take the Memphis Grizzlies lightly. I mean, I know they play better defensively without Ja Morant. I know that they played well with Ja Morant since last year. So
Yeah, they've actually had a surprisingly good winning record without him. And Jaren Jackson, some could say is questionable. Embiid and Anthony Davis, I don't even know why Anthony Davis would throw in kind of shades or cryptic tweets about Jaren Jackson winning Defensive Player of the Year because AD would have won it if he played a decent amount of games, but he only played 56 games this year.
all you have to do is play 65 games. All you have to do is play 65 games.
What was that?
65 games. All you have to do is get to play 65 games, but he only played 56 games. So
correct. And then the years before that, he played like 40 games, 36 games. So
yeah.
He's actually never played a full 82-game season. The most games he's ever played was 75, and those were 2 back-to-back seasons in New Orleans. That was the, I think the 16-17 and the 18-19 season. So yeah, his durability is always an issue with AD, and I think that what the Lakers tend to do is sometimes they play down to their competition. So when there's a team that's missing a player and they should easily win the game or at least convincingly win the game, a lot of times they don't. So, but Eric, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this stream up. Thank you so much for stopping by, bro. I'm going to be doing now. I have a channel that I do different things, so you'll be seeing reviews of videos, battle raps. I also have some political views that I'm gonna touch on, just some open things. So this is going to be a all-encompassing channel. So you're gonna get a little bit of everything. It's like a gumbo pot of creativity. So you're welcome to come by anytime. I definitely appreciate your viewership and your perspective. And if you want to just give any closing remarks, what you think about the NBA season, NFL, your favorite sports, whatever you got to say, go ahead, take it away, Eric Kwan.
Okay. As for the National Basketball Association, you got to stop encouraging tanking. As in, we got to see every number one pick end up on a losing record team, and he doesn't get to grow from that. Like, why would a number one pick want to go to a losing team and build a franchise from there? That's all I have to say.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. We were talking about that earlier about stop incentivizing tanking. And I know typically people don't care because you're saying, look, a kid may be super talented and come from a winning background, maybe college or high school athletics. And then now you're saying, here, put them in this toxic situation where
overseas.
Yeah, exactly. I think overseas is probably a better option because if you look how LaMelo Ball came out, he played 1 year against grown men. He didn't have, it wasn't like a phenomenal season, but he did really good out there. And then he came into the league with better players and won Rookie of the Year. And I can't remember if they made the playoffs that year, but the team was definitely better than they were without him. So I think more players should consider foregoing the college and maybe consider playing in some of these overseas, because even though college you do get a certain level of competition, those overseas, those are professional basketball players. Sometimes you're playing against future brain surgeons or future lawyers. They may be talented at basketball, but they haven't put all of their eggs in the proverbial basketball basket. When you go overseas, these people that are live, sleep, eat, die, and breathe basketball. So you're playing against a higher level competitor, which I think will put you further along in your career. What you think, Eric?
I agree with that. And it's unfortunate these guys got to play on losing teams in their first few years. It's unfortunate. Like, look at Doncic when he had to play for Dallas. And
even this year, they kind of tanked.
Yeah.
They had a chance to make the playoffs, and then they actually got fined $750K for that because Kyrie and Doncic. And actually, there was a report that they wanted to tank even further back, but Kyrie and Luka was kind of refusing to sit because they didn't, they don't want to play. I mean, they didn't want to sit on the bench. Once you're an ultimate competitor, it's just like, imagine Russell Westbrook. You can say, hey, the dude can't shoot, but he is an ultimate competitor. He doesn't want to miss games. So I do respect and appreciate that level of passion. All right. Well, Eric, I'm going to go ahead and drop you down, and thank you for stopping by. And like I said, if you're not subscribed to the channel, I would appreciate you subscribing. You can hit the notification bell, and whenever you want to come up, I'll always send you the link, and you're good over here with me because you are a Lakers fan just like I, and a Raiders fan just like I. So we got a lot to talk about, as these games progress and as the football season comes up. And one more thing I got to ask you before I drop you. Would you rather have Derek Carr or Jimmy G?
I think it's pretty much even. I mean,
that's kind of where I'm at with it. People are like, oh, I'm glad Derek Carr we got rid of him. I'm like, all they did was replace Derek Carr with Derek Carr 2.0.
Yeah, even. Mm-hmm.
All right, Eric. Well, thank you
Alright.
so much for stopping by. I'm gonna drop you down, and
Not a
I'll see you on
problem.
the next one
All right, not a problem.
for sure. Victor Freeze, man, I was trying to get up out of here, but I seen you down there, so I had to let the Brody come and cook.
Yo, I just wanted to pop through, you know what I'm saying? I was in the chat all night. I wanted to say what up, man. I enjoyed your stream, man.
Oh yeah, no, it's all good, bro. I gave you a little mod wrench. You know, we all go back and forth, and bro, Snowman is a he actually has like close to 30 years of commentating experience, and trust me, yeah, no, he's a really solid dude, and yeah, so shout out to that brother. But I definitely don't be agreeing with him when he talking about the Lakers. You know, I am a Lakers fan, but for the majority of the stuff, even when we disagree, you know, it's all in intellectual banter. So nobody is disrespecting anyone else, and that's why we're able to have a meaningful and enjoyable conversation. And I was about to shut it down, so I'm gonna just go ahead and let you just rock out. We mainly came up here to talk about the NBA playoffs, but it kind of delved into a little bit of football as well. So you can just speak on anything pertaining to what we've said or what we commentated on. And then if you're on IG or whatever, just leave your IG information so we can follow each other, and you know, we can set up some streams that way. Like when we do a stream together, you can just post it on your channel and vice versa. And I think there's even a way I think that you on StreamYard now that you can stream it, like you can come into the panel and it will give you an option to stream to your audience. So that's always an option too. And I'm doing the sports right now, but I'm gonna be touching on like politics, finances, and stuff too. And I have people of each field that's reputable for the finances. I have some accountants and you know, people that day trade that come up. For the sports, you know, I got some coaches, players. Same thing with music. I'm pretty linked in. I produce music, so looks like you do as well. So my homie Yuck Mouth. I don't know if you follow battle rap, but my boy.
Yeah.
What was that?
I said the nigga you love to hate.
Oh yeah, that's my bro. Yuck Mouth is my big bro. And Dan, if you follow battle rap, Danny Myers is a good dude, solid. So I'm gonna be doing some projects with them. So I would love for you, you know, to be a part of that. So we all we need. We gotta build each other up. You know what I mean? And make sure that both of our platforms is ascending. So I'll just leave that as an introductory statement. And then you can go ahead and rock out, Victor.
Well, I'm gonna keep it short, man. I know you wrapping up the stream, man. I said I really, you know, wanted to rebuttal as y'all were having the conversation. You know, it's elite how not only are you able to keep up with the comments while keeping up with the conversation, but to also interpret or interpolate, you know, what was already said in the comments and accurately come out with express what's trying to be expressed through text. So I commend you for that ability. I need to, you know, get better at that particular skill, because that really increases the viewership engagement that people they're going to be acknowledged. That said, you know, it's been a long time since, you know, you were able to just follow a team. Players don't stay on a team, you know? So if you are a fan of a player, it's almost in conflict with you being a homer or someone who stays loyal local. Because your favorite player or the guy who gets drafted is not likely to stay long. That said, you know, I'm always going to rep for the home teams. You know, I'm a Carolina / Georgia boy. So, I'm always rocking those home teams, but I pick a big horse and I ride it to the end. Pause. LeBron, I've been riding with him since he got in the league. So wherever he go, I go. As far as football, Tom Brady, really brought me back to the game, and he gave me 20 good years. And
He brought you back as a Patriot or as a Buccaneer?
Oh no, as a Patriot.
Okay. I had to make sure.
I've been rocking with the Patriots since Corey Dillon and Drew Bledsoe.
Oh, okay. You
So
talking?
I watched them when Drew Bledsoe went out.
You talking about Ty Law, Lawyer Malloy?
Oh, those the days. Okay. So yeah. And I already know just by the
about
name.
Ben Coates.
What name you said?
Ben Coates.
I don't know.
Yeah, he used to play tight end for them. What about what was his name? Brewski?
Oh yeah, Teddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I didn't like
Ronnie Harrison. When he came from the Chargers, he was laying hat for the Patriots, bro.
Listen, he did his thing on the field. I'm not a fan of him commentating. On the field,
No, that's all I'm talking about on the field. Yeah, he has said a lot of questionable things during his commentary.
But yeah, Tom, I think it's good to go out on top. I don't like when people stay too long and people have to watch you start to decline.
Yeah, it makes him. That's what I see what you're saying, because Tom Brady, he literally is the GOAT. But how he went out last year, he looks trash, right? And then people try to say you're only as good as your last game, which I don't agree with that when it pertains to this. But that is the lasting impression of him going out subpar, unproductive to the standards that you come accustomed to associating with Tom Brady. Now, if he had went out right when he had won, that was just the GOAT.
7th ring and just saying, sticking the Belichick on the way out.
I don't think it gets no sweeter than that, and I'm not diminishing or taking anything from his career, but it did look a little bit ugly. Isn't that what Peyton Manning did? Because remember, Peyton Manning was looking garbage, bro. Like, literally.
He rode his defense on the Broncos to that last one, but he did go out on a high note. Even though he looked, it's like they just holding him up like weekend at Bernie's.
They literally was holding him up. That defense was phenomenal with Akib Talib and Von Miller.
Von Miller, man, he should have got the MVP. That I don't know if he did or he didn't. I don't even remember.
Yeah, that defense was no joke that year.
He put a head on my boy Tom. I think he might have broke Tom ribs.
Bro, they was out there hitting. They had the two biggest cornerbacks out there. That Broncos team was legit.
Yeah, what that Peppers on the other side? Who was on the other side of?
On the other side of I think it was Chris something. Hold on, let me pull that up. I need to know. I gotta know.
Yeah, because I know they had like the two bookends where you can't go nowhere. It had a phone.
Chris Harris.
Okay. But yeah, man. So with that said, as far as the NBA playoffs for this year, I got the if assuming health all the way through, I got Lakers coming out of the West, and I'll say I don't have no faith in Philly.
Damn, no faith in Philly? They got Embiid, Tobias Harris, James Harden, no love?
I knew you was gonna add Harden. That's what you made a mistake. See, if you, I would trade James Harden for any other piece. I'd trade him for a great bench player because he's not himself no more. He don't care about it. He's Jay Cutler in basketball form. He don't care, man.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
playing for
that is a good analogy.
But yeah,
Because all the talent in the world, right? But just don't care enough. Just don't got enough heart and passion to get it done. It's like I'm getting paid regardless.
He done ate too much. It's hard to ask a man to work like he did when he was still hungry. You know, it's hard.
Yeah, and there's also a saying too, like the wolf that's coming up the hill is always hungrier than the wolf that's on top of the hill. You see what I'm saying? So you on top of the hill and you're like, yeah, I'm up here. I don't have that same urgency, right? I don't have that same fervor because I'm already at the top of the hill. But the one that's coming up the hill is saying, Victor, I'm coming for you. Everything, all of the Pro Tools and your iPhone and your iPad and your Lambo, I'm coming for that. You already got comfortable with kicking your feet up. I don't have the luxury of kicking my feet up. So I'm coming for you. And that's kind of where it is with James Harden. He's like, I've already arrived. My legacy is cemented. But is it really though? And some people see him as food, right? He's basically like a, like a goldfish in a shark tank. You know what I mean? So
he don't have a ring.
No, he doesn't.
So if he don't have a ring, right now, when I think of great players that were never like, let's just call it the rings that Jordan stole. I put Charles Barkley in that class. I put Reggie Miller in that class. And I mean, that list is short.
Yeah.
But there's some players that you still got to give them their just due, even though they don't have the ring to show for it.
Say Russell Westbrook, to be honest.
You can put Westbrook in this category. He never cheated the game.
Never. Bro, I just said this. The last game, he stunk it up offensively. He was 3 for 19. But what did he do? At the end of the game, he saved the game with a block. He blocked the ball, maintained possession, and threw it off of Devin Booker. So one thing about Russell Westbrook, when they are clowning him and saying, bro, you're just a bricklayer, he'll keep shooting, he'll keep bricking, and then he'll make a play that saves the game. Now, that doesn't always happen. His bricks might lead to you losing the game, or he may make a crucial turnover. But on the flip side, you don't have to question his intensity, his energy, his enthusiasm, and his heart. That's never in question. Right. When you got somebody like AD who's supremely talented, sometimes you do have to question his intensity.
Yeah, man, you right about that. And it's some of those, the talent versus the intangible, all of that in one person, you know. I say this about Westbrook, DeMar DeRozan, right? He never really stretched his shooting range out to the three-pointer. He live and die with that mid-range. But almost like Melo just, within the last handful of years, he came back, started shooting that three-ball, but he was always a mid-range. He shoot one here or there, but he's way more comfortable in clockwork clutch from that mid-range back to the basket. Well, Russ has been known. I mean, he's Tim Duncan off of that glass mid-range. But at the end of the day, it seemed like he brought into the new three-point scheme and just stinking it up. And he just go back to what he knows. He's a systematic player. You can tell structure guy. He's rigid. That's why he'll keep shooting Like I practice, I
And
know
he
the
wasn't
show.
coddled too, right? Like all the other teams, they catered towards him, and they knew that he was going to drive the ball. So when he was racking up all those assists and rebounds, it's because they set up a team specifically for him to drive and kick it. But then when he's playing with a team like right,
It's not
he's
designed
playing with
around
teams
him.
that
Yeah,
LeBron is packing the paint, and his whole game is predicated on
he's
getting.
throwing his whole game off. That's why he went to Washington and was killing it.
He was killing it there because
Washington?
he was kicking it out to Bradley Beal, Spencer Dinwiddie for the time that he was there. They had Bertans, so it was closer to the OKC lineup where he was actually able to flourish. But then when he came to the Lakers, all they had was a bunch of people that was kind of packing the paint. I think they still had Dwight Howard, right? They still had AD. They have LeBron, who was not going to hang out at the 3-point line. So it's already just congested right there, just with those three names on the list. Plus, they didn't have really any like backup shooting. I think they had picked up Kendrick Nunn, but he was injured, so he wasn't out there. So it was just looking. Oh, and they had Taylor Horton Tucker, who they traded to the Jazz. He was there, and he was only like a 19, 20-year-old who was hot and cold and highly inconsistent. So it was just a mess in terms of roster fit.
That was a very mediocre roster with only a handful of shooters. And then when you're not the first option or the first option for ball handling, even though they try to give it to him, like you got new teammates and the system isn't designed around you, they're just asking you to come into their system and make it better. It's like, I think Carmelo or any other player that kind of got phased out or their style of play got phased out, they're going to say, like you said, reinvent yourself. I think Russ, even when did he have to come off the bench for a little while? When he told Frank Vogel, like, man, I wish you might. And this year, while he's still on the Lakers, Darvin Ham ended up having him come off the bench. And he did well off of the bench. And I think that's actually going to help him in the future because he got over the pride of what are the rest of the guys in the league going to say now that I'm coming off the bench. It's almost like validating that I don't got it, that I'm not a starter.
And not only that, his next contract, right? So are they going to pay him as the Russell Westbrook, the perennial all-star, or am I going to lower his back to a role player?
Them big checks is over with, boy. Ain't nobody else getting stuck. Hey, listen, he robbed the bank. He robbed the bank already, so he should be good.
Yeah, he should be good. But you know what I'm talking about. A lot of those egos, it's highly inflated, you know, because this is another thing too. Once you take a bag, you're admitting that this is the level that you're at. You know, that's how Dennis Schroeder fumbled the bag when they offered him like 80 million. And he was like, nah, I'm worth 100 mil. And then he ended up only that next year getting 5 mil from the Celtics, and they traded him.
True market value.
Yeah. And I agree. Russell Westbrook already got his biggest bag and struck while the iron is hot, but I don't think he should just get totally disrespected in his next contract, because if they offer him the veterans minimum, which is usually around like 4 to 5 million, I would say that he is above a veteran minimum player. Now, I'm not saying how much above of a veteran minimum player, but then you have to look at the other teams too. So let's say, because like Malik Monk, the Lakers want to retain him, but they were only able to offer him 6 to 7 mil per year. The Kings came in and gave him 12. Now, right now, going forward, Malik Monk is only like 24 years old. As a complete career, he can't even be mentioned in the same breath as Westbrook. But going forward, wouldn't it make more sense to pay Malik Monk versus Westbrook? So that's where it gets a little tricky, right? Because there's going to be some more young, up and coming accomplished players that are actually going to get a bigger bag than Westbrook, And that's where it gets a little bit tricky too, because you're like, man, I'm Westbrook, I'm a Hall of Famer, and then here's this dude that's not even as proven as me, and he finna get like 60 mil or more, you know?
Well, the reality of the situation is sports leagues are a business. They're a conglomerate of individual businesses. So at the end of the day, what you're actually seeing versus what's being said is not congruent. Because you can celebrate these players for being Hall of Famers, doing things and setting records. At the end of the day, it's just like we were talking about with Brady. What have you done for me lately? And when you're on your job, you may go on the Hall of Fame of people that worked in your job for the last 20 years. And you know, you got information in your IQ is this and that, but you can't, you know, move at the rate you used to, or you can't do the things, or you have greater demands. And people know that you're getting to the end of that career. Even if you can maintain what you used to do, they're still looking for new blood, new talent. Someone who will take a little less to do just as much, if not more. Someone still who has to grow and prove. And they'll say, hey, you train. Hey, you be his vet. And I think because the league has a limited amount of positions, I've been watching
positionless basketball now.
This is true, but at the end of the day, there's only so many jobs. There's 13 roster spots. You know what I mean?
And well, max you can have is 15. But
okay.
Yeah.
So call it 15. 15 roster spots.
But those 15, they all don't play. It's kind of like the Lakers just picked up Tristan Thompson. He ain't gonna play, but if somebody gets
definitely
injured,
be in peace. But if you can even just get the roster spot, everybody else got to go play somewhere else. If there's a limited amount of roster spots times however many teams there are, and that's it. So when you basically age
you
out,
actually do got to prioritize position, right? When they say it's positionless, but when it's only a certain amount of roster spots, you actually kind of do have to. Because even my boy Snowman and Shetty that was on here earlier, they're both Warriors fans, and I was saying like y'all are getting killed by Domantas Sabonis, and he said there's no backup big man. I was like, hold on, y'all got Kevon Looney and who else? Nobody. Draymond is man big, and he's actually undersized going up against the 7-footer. Draymond is only like 6'6".
You gotta save the spot just for a big body. That's why Miles Plumlee still got a job.
Yep. And he got injured with the Clippers, but yeah. Actually, him, and that's why even JaVale McGee still got a job.
You can't teach 7 foot.
Hey, that's one of the best basketball quotes ever, right? You cannot teach 7 foot.
Yeah. Hey, listen, man, I ain't gonna keep you on here too long, man. We're gonna talk in the back channel, you know what I mean? And
just leave your info in the back chat, or you know, you can just find me on hold on, you could just find me on IG, B-Eazy that dude. Just send me a DM, and you know, I'll follow you, and you know, I'll support I just scrolled it at the bottom. I'll support whatever endeavors you got going on. And actually, just before you drop it down, just give a quick shout out to where people could follow your page, your content, your endeavors real quick before I shut the stream down. Let the people know where they can find Victor Freeze.
Yeah. This your boy Victor Freeze Music. If you like anything that I had to say, or you want to see me collab with brother B-Eazy in the future, please look for me at the name you see right there at the bottom of the screen, Victor Freeze Music, all one word. And if you want to follow our sports channel, just go to No Gloves Network, all one word as well. I appreciate y'all time. Next time. All right, peace, motherfucker. Hey, you on mute.
Okay, yeah, I was saying I'm about to shut the stream down. So thank you for stopping by. Make sure to go subscribe to Victor Freeze. And you feel me, just hit me up, and then we gonna set that up, Victor. Okay, so this has been a fruitful stream. It was impromptu, but this is an installment of Sportify Arena. Now, look, I might be playing with the name Sportify Weekly, Sportify Daily, Sportify Central, but I think Sportify Arena is good for now. But y'all could give me some suggestions. It's going to be something with Sportify. You know, it's kind of a play on Spotify, but it's really about sports. And we're not just going to be covering the sports that everyone knows about, the playoffs, NBA, MMA. We're going to be covering that. Boxing. I know Gervonta Davis has a bout coming up. So, yeah, you will be seeing a lot more amazing content. Everybody that stopped by today, shout out to y'all. Y'all could be anywhere in the world, but you chose to be here with me and the panelists that came through. I'm actually going to be doing another stream tonight on the Knowledge and Relationships platform with the big bro, Easily Rigged. And you're going to see a lot more stuff coming out of this channel. So let me go ahead and end this like so.
Boom! He's on his back. Hey, heck of a play! That is concentration. Hey, he'll remember that number. Amazing!
like intermission. We kindly request that you show love to the channel's creator and platform by leaving a like, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell to stay up to date with all the latest content. Liking posts is completely free and helps the algorithm boost our reach. We want to grow the community larger and larger, so thank you all who take the time to support us. It does mean the world to us and doesn't go unnoticed.